Back with Chronicle of the Crowns, rather, session 7, and we're gonna jump right in. I'll do a short recap. Our heroes had been to the reliquary in Dol Siriath, and we had poked about, and upon retrieving an axe from its wall mounting, Glarvir was accosted by a spirit of some sort that is in the process of composing some manner of at least seemingly physical form, basically from the dust on the ground and around the reliquary. And this shape is sort of hazy features of a knight in antique armor wielding a large sword, and the knight is screeching this piercing, strong shriek that seems to be erupting from somewhere beyond this world. And as we put wax in our ears, well, not wax, but we had some candles.
Candle wax.
Yeah, we had some candles, and we did the thing in order to maybe avoid being spellbound by certain individuals. The shriek pierces through the wax, as it is not auditory in that sense, and you all know that now. And we had ended the session last time when you had all retreated to the sort of central hall of the reliquary, with Glarvir having this retrieved this Dwarven axe. We had not Mr. Nightingale, but a character from this game, Cameron Redwin, had nabbed some jewelry on the way out from the hall that he was in, and we had converged here to face off this wraith. And we're going to start with the shrieking, sort of the waves of the shriek crashing over the lot of you. We're going to start this one out with some steel tests, as we are facing a dead spirit. So what we'll do here is, and let me investigate how exactly this works. So I'll make a trial run of this. Okay. Nice. Okay. So you can find steel under your attributes on your stats and skills page.
I would like to know whether my resigned to death is applicable in this situation.
Let me consult the text.
It's page 343. It's a call-on trait for a steel test when I'm in danger of dying.
I also have the fearless trait, which I don't know if it's applicable.
Yeah, this is fear. This is fear.
Are we being fear blasted right now?
Yes. So resigned to death. The character realizes that he is going to die and has accepted this fact. I don't think so, because you're not pinned down being decapitated right
That's
now.
fine, but it was worth asking.
No, that's wonderful, and that's like, we need to keep asking these questions because we need to reassess the situation, because there's things that need to be taken into account.
Yeah,
like
so a few rounds in, when it's leaning over me and I'm on the floor, then I'll be like, how about now, Wheelmaster?
Yeah, no, yes. It's literally the one where they're like, well, I'm hanging on the ledge of this volcano.
Fly, you fools!
Yeah, that's when you use that one.
Nice.
Because now you could just run away. You have an avenue of escape, so you're fine for now for that. But
you forget my oath to defend my companions. I will not flee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, I've already jumped into it myself, so I got sword high. I'm ready to go. So
yeah. So Cameron, you're fearless. Oh, I should have.
You reduces it by 3, so I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, well, yeah, we don't need to look that up too much. So, if you look on your sheet, there's steel, and under the steel is hesitation. Now, let me open some of your sheets and see what that is on
Yeah,
there.
on 4.
Good. Okay, so it calculates it. Nice. Cool. So, you can press the die on your steel, and
Yep.
let's see. I'm following along here so that I can get this right. So, if you have advantages, there's none really. But if you have some bizarre thing going, I think Cameron's thing is the only one that even enters into any of this, but it's not advantage. So I don't think anyone has advantages. You click through that. Then Artha dice. So if you want to spend Persona on this, that's where you
Yes,
put
please.
that one. And then you click through that. Then you get the hesitation obstacle. So you look at what your hesitation is on the sheet. You put that in, and then you apply modifiers, which it's +3 for a ghost. And for Cameron, it's -3 because you're fearless.
So will the hesitation obstacle be 3 for me because it reduces it by 3? Or
What is it normally?
6.
So it should
Yeah,
be 6.
so it's 6 because it's +3 because this is a ghost, and it's -3 because you're fearless.
Oh.
So it's 6 for you.
It's just the base value.
Yep.
Okay. So don't change anything else. Just.
Nope.
Okay.
Presume there's no conditional obstacles.
No, it's the conditional is the ghost thing.
Oh, look at that, 6 successes.
Mate, I am a ghost.
However, I am going to spend a fate point because I got 1 6 in there.
Yeah.
Wait, can I
so
remind
so
you-
let's see. So steel is open-ended by default, and
Oh, we're all rolling for this, so we.
yeah, everyone. Yep.
All right.
Okay,
My
so-
apologies. I'm drifting.
Yeah. No
mentally.
problem. Yeah, I know. We're all.
Talk to ghosts for a living. Look at this. Look at this.
Where's the button for it on my screen? There should
Next
be a
to
button.
steel, mate.
Apologize.
Oh, the steel button. Sorry. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I just hit steel and then hit submit, right? I'm not adding anything
Yeah.
or.
You hit steel. You click through advantages. There's
Look at all
none.
those ones.
If you want to spend persona, you spend that in the Artha
Yeah.
dice section. If not, you just click through.
Can I
then
ask a question about how accurate my hesitation is? Because so my steel is 9.
Mhm.
Under hesitation, it says it's 1 with a base of 3. So I'm guessing that something has deducted from that because of my skill, or did I have to manually put that in there? I'm questioning it. I'm questioning whether it should be a 3 or a 1, basically, for my obstacle.
What's your will?
My will is. Where are you, Will? 7.
Okay, it should be 3 then.
This should be the base, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's just making sure. It's just.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. So you take
that had
the
to be a
base.
manual thing. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So you take the base and you add that in as your obstacle and add 3 on top of that.
Okay, so it's a total of 6.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think I have anything that kind of ducks that down. Other
Yeah,
than
I don't
the
think
sheer amount
Cameron
of,
was the only one.
Yeah, the sheer amount of steel that I have in my soul.
Mhm. Okay, so you make it.
Elves are just better, as you can see.
Yeah. I mean, he's rolling.
Holy shit!
And
Like he's
I've-
rolling a.
I've not
That's my
made
roll
it
for
even
the
with my
night
extra
right there,
one.
guys. That's it. That's
Yeah,
the one good one.
so, what happens with this is Glarvir steel is open-ended by default, so 6s are re-rolled automatically. Why isn't it? Is it not ticked on your sheet? Let me. It is. Because I'm looking at the math and it says it's rolling 8 dice, which is what you would roll when you have your Arthur there.
Yeah.
I guess it's.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Because. Oh, yeah, no, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, that's strange.
Oh, well, never mind. I rolled an extra one anyway. I've just put
Yeah.
the fate point back on because you say it rolled automatically.
Yeah. And the thing is, like when your skill is open-ended, like your steel is, it's not re-rolling your 6s either, Drury.
No, I thought no. I guess okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'd be successful regardless, but sure. You want me to reroll some sixes anyway? To see
No,
how
you don't. You don't need to know.
much more ridiculous out of God.
Okay. Well, we need to keep this in mind and look into this.
I'm going to do it just for the sake of it. So
yeah. For
I would
the
have got another
walls.
6.
Yeah. Yeah. Just reroll that.
I'm just going to, just for the sake of it here, guys.
Yeah. So can we get to 10 on this?
Oh, no. 9 now. 9 is pretty good, pretty boss.
It's 9. So,
yeah.
When...
I love proud of this. That is true as every character I play, I specifically made my guy good at not being scared.
Fearless.
And has experience talking to spirits, and I poop my pants.
Actually, though, didn't you say you fearless should have dropped your obstacle down to 3? And you rolled it as a 6?
Oh, it's +3, -3 for him.
Oh, got it. Right.
It's +3 because
it's the base,
it's
but
I'm
you're
looking at, I guess.
I got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's +3 because of the ghost.
So his base is 6?
Yep.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, but I get like a tick somewhere because of this, right? Is it?
Yeah, it's
sorry,
a difficult
am I
one for you.
sitting on my elven privilege again here, where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a 6, mine's only a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck me, sorry.
So, yeah. So basically, Glarvir, if you want to spend an additional fate on your thing, by which I mean if you want to spend any fate at all,
Yeah.
you can roll an extra die because
okay,
that's
will do.
how it works with open-ended skills.
I may as well. Why not?
Yeah. And you
Boom!
made it.
It's a 6.
Yep. So, you can mark down your difficult tests, Glarvir.
Oh, yeah,
and,
that's right. Shit.
But for Mr.
For fancy pants
Mr.
elf, it's a 1, I
Steel
think.
Pants over here,
Yeah.
you don't get shit.
Oh, yeah, it would be routine for me, would it?
Yeah, it's a routine, and you don't.
Oh, yeah, so
you don't
fuck.
need that.
Yeah. I think the
yeah.
next stage for me is to phase shift, or is it a 10? Can you get skills to 10 in this game? Or it's a phase shift at 10, basically, isn't it? Like a color shift.
No,
right?
no. It's you need to slam Artha into it to phase shift it.
Oh, got it.
to color shift it.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. So the terror washes over you, and it. Yeah. So Terrell and Glarvir, you are taken back by this, and of course there's some kind of apparition that is not really apparating, but it is sort of gathering all this dust from this building, and it's coated in dust, and it is screaming an unholy scream that shakes your very spirit.
I do flinch.
Yeah, there's that like stepping back of like, oh boy. Glarvir?
You said it was forming up into like a sort of armored knight, effectively.
Yeah, there's these sort of like sketch
The
of
visage
a
is going to
knight.
look like this knight.
Yeah.
Got it.
Now, I want to ask, and I'm sure this would be like a ridiculously difficult role anyway,
Mm-hmm.
given that I think, and I may be wrong, that this is perhaps the spirit of one of the people from this ancient time when the dwarves and humans are pretty tight. Could I
Mm-hmm.
use my campaign-wise to see if I recognise like the signatures on like the spectral armour?
Or even just the armor design
You
itself.
could. That would be
know?
incredibly like this.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? What that we talked about last time with Cameron and Dol Siriath wise, because Dol Siriath is specific to here. Campaigns is all the military campaigns.
I do
of
have
the world.
banner-wise as well.
Yeah, it doesn't have a banner, but campaign-wise, I think would perhaps work. Maybe you could fork in banner-wise into that, but. So, okay, let's figure out an obstacle for this and also contemplate what happens to Cameron.
I'll tell you now, just for the crack, I'm going to spend a persona on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I am positioning myself between both Glarvir, Cameron, and this creature, because I am for sure, as far as I know, the only one that can actually harm it. So I'm just standing at the ready, sort of high.
Yep. Let me get my thing. Where is it? Here we go.
I'm stood there shouting tonight. Tyrio being like, if only we knew someone who could control ghosts.
We need a necromancer stat.
Too bad he's pissing his pants right now.
I'm gonna say it's the description is quite apt. I'm gonna say it's obstacle 7, an improbable feat.
Yeah, that sounds legit. I forked in 1 from my Bannerwise, and I've spent 1 from my Alpha.
Yep.
I'm not expecting to succeed.
Right.
Two
okay.
2 6s though.
Yeah, 2 6s. You could.
I'm not going to re-roll them until I pass anyway. But I presume that count as a difficult.
Yeah, it's challenging. You had less dice than the obstacle.
Oh, sweet! My campaign wise is well on the way.
Yeah. So, right. Well, you.
I mean, if it moves to attack, I'm swinging. That's
oh yeah. The conflict is.
So we are in battle right now.
I think we're gonna put a pin in this, and we'll get back to this. Cameron, you have some choices to make.
Lay on me, boss. What's the option?
Do you fill your left boot or your right boot?
Lucky?
So, upon failing a steel roll, a person hesitates for the like by the number of equal. The person hesitates according to the degree of failure here in your roll, which is 5 for you right now, and that is like it translates to whatever the situation is. Sort of broadly, it's like 5 heartbeats. You're hesitating, and you can choose from one of 4 options as like what are you doing for 5 heartbeats. First one is stand and drool, which is you're gasping and standing your ground, your mouth hanging open. If you're afraid, your mind shuts down. So basically, you're overwhelmed with fear on the spot, like frozen in fear. With that, you could fall down and beg for mercy. That's option number 2. So basically, you drop whatever you have and you drop down and plead for your life. Option number 3, run screaming. So you flee directly out of the reliquary, screaming at the top of your lungs, dropping whatever you had in your hands. 4th option, swoon. So, yeah, dazed, and you can select the one that you enjoy.
What does dazed mean in terms of the game exactly?
They all mean roughly the same in terms of like how much like activity you can perform, which is none. So a player may have his character pitched backwards in a swoon. The character is dazed and utterly unaware of his surroundings while in a swoon. Players who opt to have their character swoon may choose how and when their character is roused. Character hesitates for at least as many heartbeats as the margin of failure, and for as long as the player wants after that. Is the text for that particular thing.
I think I'm gonna beg for forgiveness.
Okay.
For disturbing their rest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what exactly happened, so I'm going to assume that we've disturbed something, and they are displeased with our presence. So I'm just going to be like, I'm terribly sorry for disturbing all of our ancient, all these ancient spirits. Please forgive us. Please allow us to leave in peace, and we will depart. And just be like, I'm so sorry for torment. Your afterlife must have been.
So Cameron falls to the floor, muttering these.
Master Summoner. Just
Ghostbuster over here.
Yeah.
Then it's on. So Terrell, what is your intent?
So what I'm gonna do, as I see Cameron drop to his knees next to me, I'm simply gonna say, "Buck up, chap," and I'm gonna just charge in with my sword, and I'm gonna swing.
Okay, what is your
swinging high?
what do you want to achieve here?
I want to dematerialize it. I want to banish it from whence it came, destroy it, whatever the appropriate parlance.
Okay,
I'm not a wizard.
Destroying it is beyond your capability.
Yeah,
here.
I'm not a wizard here, but I
yeah.
figured a couple sword slashes will get it to go away, especially with my sword, given its enchantments.
So making it, leave you.
We want to drive it away at the very least.
Drive it away. Yeah, that's a good one. Yep. And the only reason Tyrell is capable of doing this is because he sung the song of the sword.
Song of the sword.
And the sword that he is wielding is currently the singing blade.
Oh yeah, I forgot which is. I totally forgot.
I think it open-ends your sword dice.
I think it does open end my sword dice.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. I did already click it off. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give me this sweet roll, and this is going to be an opposed roll, so just set the difficulty to 1, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're rolling for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof, that could have been a better roll though.
Okay, so the Wraith is going to sword you right back.
Oh well. Magic sword versus
and
spiritual sword.
If the Wraith wins, it will. It will have wounded you in this and have sort of driven you back.
Yeah.
And basically, like, you're getting beat down.
Yeah, it's pushing me. It's pushing me back just by my best effort. If I lose. Yeah, I get it.
And if that happens, it is established you cannot drive this thing away with your swordsmanship because of the way that the rolls work in this game. So either you get your intent, which is I will drive this away.
Okay. Yeah.
Or if you fail,
we're doing the
you cannot drive this away in this scene with your swordsmanship.
Question.
Yes.
Didn't since you added that little bit of severity to the situation,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't thought of that as well. Can I dump a persona on that and just roll additional die?
Oh, this isn't me. Just to clarify, like I'll get back to answering this. To clarify, this isn't me adding anything.
No, these are the rules. That's what I'm saying. You've raised the stakes.
It's fine.
Reminding us of the rules, bro.
Yeah,
so,
it's fine.
This is okay with you.
It's fine. We're getting to the grips of how this works anyway. Yeah. So, and this is the kind of thing you spend that for. So 4 successes
is a success.
Yeah, 4 is a success. Yeah,
got it.
And then we'll
need to keep in mind 6s that are successes.
Sorry,
is it 4, 5, and 6 that are successes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm used to it being 5 and 6 only, usually with most systems.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
D6.
So the Wraith is going to fence with you. It's wielding this large knightly sword, and the ghostly equivalent of anyway.
Lovely craftsmanship.
Yeah, and
as I'm trying to duel it.
Yeah. So if it wins, you'll have been stabbed and driven back,
which makes sense. Yeah, obviously we're
fighting. So basically, the situation will then be the Wraith is on top
Someone
of
else
the situation.
Has to deal with it. Yeah,
like
exactly.
It has the higher ground.
Yeah, I have the high ground, bitch. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Rolling obstacle 1.
Don't keep me in suspense now. Come on.
And here we go.
Oh, you fucking son of a bitch.
Boy. 2 6s as well. It doesn't have any Artha, but yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. So you
all right.
Engage. You come in with your sword is Elven make, right?
Yeah, well, this is it's standard, but I boosted.
Yeah, but it's made by elves anyway.
Oh yeah, but it's not the elf sword where it has all the special magic
Glarvir
and everything. Yeah.
Shocked, stunned. So you come in with your Elven blade. Now, is it the sort of curved style?
Yeah. I would say it's very much similar to what you might have seen in my conception for the weapons and armor it's very, very similar to what we see in Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah,
just because the elves look so on point in that, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very and quite distinct. Like they have a coherent style to it. So a lot of
it's hard to beat that. Yeah.
So you come in with your like this is like basic forms, right? Like you've fought this battle like times infinity. You come in and your blade meets this like dust coated ghost of a sword in the air with similar clangs as it would if it was an actual metal blade that you were fighting against. And there's a step backwards, like you're being given a masterclass to fencing right now, Glarvir.
Right.
There's a short exchange of like back and forth. The ghost moves, like it's very difficult to like keep up with it because it doesn't need to step as such, but it's moving as if it was a physical person. And there's the sort of like rapid fire exchange of blows of two competent swordsmen, and then there's a point where the ghost just blocks one of the sword swings with a hand and just like tags you in the side, Tyrell. And you are going to get a B4 wound.
Now, that is a good time to explain what any of that means.
Yeah, so we turn to our PTGS and gear page.
Yes, a page that we hardly ever use.
Yes, we don't have a lot of business on this side because we usually don't do this sort of thing.
So go to B4 and click one of the boxes, right?
B4 and click the top dot thing.
Yep.
Underneath there. So it should now, let me look at your sheet.
Yep.
Where is it? Tyrell. Right. And right. Okay. So what happens here is, I should have opened your sheet here to explain this better. So B4 is not a specific type of wound for you, and it will therefore go to the leftmost thing that you have, which is your superficial in B3. So I need to brush up on this, and I should have. Didn't have time.
It's all right.
The curse of our days, right?
Yeah, real.
Should have, could have, all that. I'll do a quick revision of that because I started doubting myself as I was going through that. Because we do need to know what kind of, like, how bad the wound itself is.
Yeah, how it's going to affect my
to treat it.
Yeah, of course.
Later on. So here we go. Okay, if the mark falls between two tolerances, then the player notes the effect for the leftmost or lesser one. Okay, yeah. So we're going to do this, right? Because of the sheet automation. I'll leave the dot in both because it has the effects of a superficial wound, but it is the
right. And that just means that I get an obstacle penalty of 1, meaning I add 1 obstacle die.
And I think the sheet does it for you, so you don't need to worry about that.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
Yep. So
we'll see when we do it, right?
Yep. Yeah, we'll try it. Like we'll not do it, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So Tyrell gets caught in the side with this like ridiculous one-handed swing from this spirit that doesn't need to worry about weight and
or wounds,
and winces and goes into defensive posture. And Glarvir, Tyrell is being driven back now. The Wraith clearly has the upper hand, and Cameron is still out of it. What do you do? Tyrell
Can I speak before
yes.
come back?
Yes.
I just want to say one thing before Glarvir decides what he wants to do. I'm just gonna kind of grit my teeth, look in Glarvir's direction, and say, "Get Cameron and go."
It's not how it works, son.
Yes. But I'm the practical one. You're the oath-bound one, remember?
That's right.
Okay, so Tyrell is being driven back. He's sort of one of his sides is now weaker, and the Wraith is just hammering on that weakness.
I'm having to sort of kind of like lean away from the wounded side a little bit, so it's just kind of making it a little harder to defend.
Yeah, and the Wraith is just merciless, like hammering on that side now because it will take more of your resources every time to fence off on that side. And so Tyrell is is rapidly losing this fight in the sort of short term. Now he's not gonna get his head chopped off anytime soon necessarily, but
I can keep this going for a while, but then again, this thing can keep it going forever apparently. So
yeah, and Tyrell is like
I'm still flesh, even though
basically Tyrell is on the clock here. Is what we're saying.
Well, I said run away.
Yeah. So Glarvir, you have the initiative because everyone else is busy. What do you do?
Okay, so sort of holding the axe. I know I need two hands to like use it, but I presume I could just hold it one-handed.
Yeah. No, it's for combat wise. It's
holding it out like deliberately, like prominently, so like the wraith can see it. I'm gonna like throw out my other hand towards the wraith, and in like a very loud voice, which is probably pretty loud given that I shout everything normally. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you foul and debased spirit! Have you forgotten your true purpose? That you would bandy swords with a wee slip of an elf like that? I thought you were an honourable knight set here to guard the friendship between dwarves and man, or have you been so debased that you have forgotten your true form? If that be the case, then step forward and meet your maker, and do not bandy your time with this elf."
I think you're being a bit presumptuous there, Glarvir.
Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
I'm basically, my point, what I'm hoping to accomplish is I'm hoping, because obviously I'm very conspicuous, I'm hoping to, well, one of two things. I'm hoping to, one, perhaps I can, if it's not entirely corrupt and it is just an angry spirit, maybe when I sort of say like, oh, you know, have you become so debased you've forgotten your true purpose? You know, I thought you were here to protect the friendship. Maybe I can shock it back into like remembering what it once was. Or if it has become so debased, I'm hoping to at least draw its attention to me. I know I can't do much to it, but I'm hoping that if its attention's distracted by me, it might give Tyrell a bit of time to like get himself together and like counterattack it.
Yeah. Okay. You can do your thing.
That actually brings up a good question in the sense that, because obviously, A, there's counterattack action in the system, and B, so I guess going back with the narrative discussion we had about how dice rolling plays out and changes the facts of the situation, would him then distracting the creature and drawing it to attack him create a new point in the narrative where then I could actually then attack it again? And with hopes of defeating it.
Yeah, you could. Absolutely. So if
changing the narrative, right?
Like messes with the situation enough, you could do something. However, we already know you can't beat this guy in swordsmanship. You will have to do something else.
It dies or goes away.
But you can do something else if Glarvir helps you. If Glarvir doesn't, you can't do much about this guy now.
So,
but yeah,
if it's okay with you, I'd like to roll my conspicuous because I'm trying to make myself.
You're beating your chest.
If I can also, I'd like to fork my intimidation in because of the come and get it bit, and I'm obviously going to pump a persona into it. Let's not even try and pretend I'm not going to. So 1 for fork, 1 for persona. Right, I just need the obstacle then.
Okay, yeah, I need to actually figure out what this is.
I'm just going to make a note. I'm on steel because I forgot earlier.
Also, Drury, if your sword thing like gets a dot from that exchange.
Yes, I added it there. Yeah, a difficult one. I'm guessing that.
Yeah. So you had you had 5. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Yeah, exactly on the dot.
Yeah. I can read I'm finally learning how to read the chart.
Yeah. Okay. I looked at the wrong skill first. Okay, here we go.
I'm also hoping if I can draw its attention for long enough, it'll give Cameron a bit of time to recover and make with the magic.
Okay, well, basically, yeah.
I have an idea how we can do something other than sword stab it if you don't want me to sword stab it. So, but
okay, so. Crowded room, busy shop, busy streets. Okay. I'm gonna say let's call this like the equivalent of an obstacle 2.
Okay.
Here. It's not very difficult.
3 successes.
Okay.
So I presume that would just be a routine because I've got conspicuous 3.
It is routine. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
You had 4 dice that count against the difficulty of 2. So, okay. So, the wraith like fences Terrell off, and there's that like viscous and slithering voice that sort of bellows from the underworld, and it's speaking in like archaic old High Kingdom. So it sounds you can make the intent out, but the exact words would only be known to Cameron at this point. And the voice is basically saying,
I recall slaying your kind. What a delectable treat to have you again.
So I'm assuming I'm basically getting the vibe that like it's like, oh, I'm going to kill you. That's just the general vibe I'm getting.
I'm
just missing the like nuances.
Yeah, it's talking about killing you.
So
in context, yeah.
I'm just going to be like hefting the axe and sort of in like my loudest voice possible. I'm going to repeat what it says on the axe, and I'm just going to say, "Together against despair, this day and all days to come."
And it breaks off with Terrell. Terrell, you still like the thing applies. Like he's too much of a swordsman for you to like actively beat him. But it breaks off from Terrell, giving you now the chance to do something because the oppression isn't there. And it turns to Glarvir and says,
"Your days are no longer."
And just comes in with the intent of like starting a fight with you.
Yeah,
melee.
Obviously I'm going to be trying to fend it off. I don't know whether I even can with the axe. I'm like,
yeah, that we'll find that out. So you got the attention of the wraith now. Terrell, do you have much? Where I'm sort of counting on like 3-4 heartbeats here. So Cameron's got like one more thing here, sort of abstractly for the begging.
John did just say he'd be right back, so I don't know whether he's back yet.
That's right. Okay, all right, probably not. Okay, well,
let us continue our witty banter.
Let us circle each other.
Is it possible for me to banish something if I haven't summoned it?
No. With faith, yes.
Well,
you better get on with the covenant.
No, the church.
They could banish people.
To be fair, look at it this way though, Matthew. Like, even if I die here and it gives you and Terrell a chance to get away, my oath is fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Oath is fulfilled. I use circles to just happen to have a friendly
death before dishonor.
Mm-hmm. It was like, this happens to be a summoner dude who has circles ready to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do a flashback, just see how. Look, I drew the circle yesterday. Look at it. Perfect.
You do
there's
like
a lot I
old,
could do. If I had time to prep, there's a lot I could do here, but I don't have the time.
Well, to be fair, we were like, oh, we're going into some old like museum. We weren't expecting it to be like Wraith Central, were we? So why would you have circles prepared and stuff like that?
It's one of my best skills as well. I could do all kinds of.
I pray you get the chance to use it.
Might have to be a sorcery jobby.
Yeah, your magic can hit these spirits.
And I'm back.
Yep. So, Terrell, you now have a chance to do something because the wraith is about to start a melee with Glarvir.
Yeah, I didn't think his epic speech was gonna, do anything. Hold on one second.
Well, you know about my epic speech has done one of the two things I wanted it to do.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, either get it to like reconsider its life choices, unlikely, or or distract it so you can do something.
Right.
Mission accomplished.
So, in my understanding, fucking wife, fucking shit. Anyway, sorry. am I understanding that I can't backstab it? Essentially, is what we're saying? The sword is not an option at the moment.
No. The thing is, you cannot roll sword skill now.
That's what I'm
Anything
saying.
Else
the sword is not the option, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So
Everything
here's what
else
I want
is
to
good
do. The only thing I can think to do to give us any bit of pause here and to get freaking Cameron to do something with his magic, perhaps.
Please no kill me. Sorry.
I have this little thing that I can cause called wonderment. That causes steel tests. That's when I sing my songs. So I want to sing the most logical song in the scenario, because obviously my songs really can't I don't have a banished spirit song really per se. But
no.
I do have a song called Lament of the Fallen. But it seems appropriate, and it would still cause wonderment, which is what I want it for anyway. So I would like to do that and cause the wonderment. Specifically, I'm specifically singing the song to the spiritual knight. Obviously, it affects pretty much anyone, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
everyone here currently.
I am dedicating this particular song to our crazy knight friend here.
This one goes out to all you crazy spirits out there.
Dulciriath, you've been great this evening.
Thank you, Dulciriath!
Back soon! Pardon me, I'm just munching a little. Now, let me go to my song.
Of the Fallen.
It's the grief song, but the main thing is causing the wonderment.
Just looking for the rules here. Okay. Right. I need to figure out what kind of situation this is. Yeah, I guess this is a bloody battle.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be very bloody very soon.
Yeah. So that's going to be an obstacle 3, I think.
Okay.
So 3. What am I? 5. 5 is the one I was looking at.
Okay, that works for me. I mean, not really, but we'll give it a go.
Let's see, I'm looking for a different definition of 5.
The song has to actually work in order for the wonderment to be caused, correct?
Yeah, and currently you are accruing let's call it obstacle 4, because this is we maybe wouldn't call this a battle, we would call this killing. So
sure, I agree.
Obstacle 4.
All right, so then I think what I want immediately to do is pull down some Aratha for some persona. Running out of that stuff there, Yanis. Let's just see here. Lament of the Fallen. Hit that up. I will say that we get an extra die. Oh, actually, hold on. So I can do this the right way. Yes. Base difficulty is 3. You said, right? 4. Sorry, 4. You said.
Yep.
Let's just hit a 4. For 6 is a bit slow. Really? Wow. Okay. It's a terrible roll. But I presume that was a 4, which should give me at least a routine, right?
Yeah, no, it's a challenging one.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's good. At least it has that effect. I'm hurting and I'm too distracted to find the chord.
Yeah. And of course the obstacle is higher because the wound did it. The sheet worked. It was 4, which he put in, and then the sheet puts in the extra.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
test.
I was wondering why I was so badly off. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So Terrell is singing a beautiful elven lament that this wraith is not affected by at all. It is seemingly consumed with the urge to butcher Glarvir. So Glarvir, there's going to be...
You got what you wanted, bro.
There's... what are we doing? The wraith is coming your way. Your axe is not enough to... well, your axe is not capable of...
I'm aware my axe isn't going to do anything. My plan is, because I imagine I was like pretty near to Cameron, so when he went down and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, please don't kill." My plan is, as it's sort of going towards me, for me to steadily sort of like circle around to meet it, but actually I'm just trying to draw it away from Cameron. I know I can't really hurt it, but I'm like, if I can buy him some time, maybe he can like get his mojo on and like deal with it.
Okay. So, what do we...
Yeah, I know you can't out of character, but obviously in character I don't know what mojo you pack in. I'm just like, you're a wizard.
Yeah, it's like, we know that he's a wizard, like he... like.
I'm like, this is magic. This is magic stuff. You're a magic man.
We're just assuming he can do something about it at this stage.
Yeah.
To be fair, I sort of assumed Tyrell was going to deal with it, but...
Hey,
You know.
I gave it my best shot. And it stabbed me in the face. Or the side.
Right, well,
He sang, "Hit me with your best shot." Oh, not that hard.
Oh god, no, I'm not doing my shot.
Yeah, unfortunately, you made the mistake of singing the song "Hit Me with Your Rhythm Stick," and it did.
So I think for maneuvering, let's go for an opposed like speed
Oh, there's a big
roll
god.
here to figure out what the end result is. So your intent is to basically keep it occupied with your like maneuvers here and get him away from Cameron.
Yeah, basically. So if you imagine like me and Cameron are there and the ghosts are there sort of coming in, as it's coming in, I'm sort of slowly like moving around like I'm circling to get a better position to like face it, but actually just so it'll like not just smash through me and into Cameron.
Right. Okay. And what the wraith wants is to hurt you with the
Shank me.
sword.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's get some.
Could I possibly use my coarse persuasion here?
Nah. No.
I don't know why I'm asking that, because my coarse persuasion is worse than my speed, but
Yeah. I mean, but it is a dwarven specialty, so
that's it.
okay. Let's see. Speed. Here we go.
Tell you what, I'm glad I saved all these persona points.
So it's gonna roll against. Just roll against obstacle 1 because we compare.
Okay, I'm putting a persona
Okay.
into it.
Wraith is
So I'm
on.
running out of those persona points though.
Wraith is on 3.
Okay. Okay, I'm not sure why it's gone obstacle -1. Obviously I've done so. I only got 1 success anyway, so
Yeah. Oh, I wonder. maybe the thing broke because the obstacle was 0.
probably, yeah. I should have thought.
But yeah,
I've lost.
yeah. So it strikes you with this blade made from dust, seemingly.
Mogul blade.
Yeah. And I put down, you have a superficial wound at B4, so
Yeah.
it's fine. We don't need to do any special shenanigans, so it's all marked down there.
That was also my thought about like distracting it. I've got a lotto health boxes.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest.
So again, there's like you're leading it away and you are successful. It's not really being super strategic. It was very proficient in the sword fight, but it's not being like, oh, I will now outmaneuver you. It's more like I like, get here, you little shit.
Yeah, my basic plan is like, as it's like superficially wounding me, and I presume I know like, oh, that's not a mortal wound.
Yeah, it's coming in basically with like a lunge at some point. Like it stops walking and it's just like swoops forward, like levitating in the air, and just like lunges out with the sword, stab you.
My basic plan, I'm sure this doesn't involve like a dice roll, unless you say it does. My basic plan is just to like keep like sassing it as it does. So I'm like, you call that a blow with a sword? There are dwarven babes barely out of their first set of armor who can hit better than that. Basically, just to like keep its attention on me, so it's like continues going for this like mad attack rather than like cunningly.
And it is like you're sort of like doing this bizarre dance with it, where you're trying to circle and it's lunging after you. It's like Get here.
Yeah, I basically want it focused on me in like a mad rage, just like going at me all the time. Because I'm like, the longer I can keep it doing that, the more chance my allies have got to either get away or do something.
Yep. And what actually, unless Matthew, you decide otherwise, because you, no, actually, you. Yeah, it was the specialty of the swoon that you could swoon as long as you wanted to, but you don't have to. You don't have to fall down and beg for mercy any longer. And what shocks you out of that necessity is you see Glarvir get shanked with this like dust blade somehow, and this wraith of a knight with its billowing dust cloak is floating around in the air, swiping at Glarvir, and it lets out another one of these shrieks. And as it does so, the dust in the air that sort of comprises and outlines its body is very briefly, because there's not a lot of substance there to burn, but it is set on fire very briefly. So there's this like flash of burning dust in the air, and there's immediately this like burning dust air, which I'm sure most of us have smelled, like the at least like warm, very warm dust.
Reminds me of being at school.
Yeah, it's like flash burns
old
all the
radio.
dust, and now this it's this like stark white ash covered figure, and the sword dust is still smoldering. There's this like sprinkling of almost like embers along the sword as it continues now white and stark against the darkness. What do you do, Cameron? Terrell is somewhere close by to you, trying to, well, basically bring this spirit down with this lament for the fallen. It is not working, you can tell. Cameron, what do you do?
So just obviously my character will know this, but I necessarily don't. The time it would take for me to summon this or control this thing under my own power.
You need several minutes.
Several minutes. That's not something I could do easily.
Under 10, though.
I could do, but you said I could summon things without drawing a circle, but it still would take minutes.
Yeah, that's the so if you do it long form with the circles and all, that's hours of work. If you do it without the circles, you can get it done in minutes.
Still, that's
I
not
mean,
enough time.
we can probably hold the thing off for, like, I guess my out of character, and this is something Cameron needs to convey to us in character, because we do not know how his magic works. But out of character, I'm presuming as an objective, we can distract it or keep its attention long enough, or attempt to, like as an action, in order to give him the opportunity to do that. I mean, that's what Glarvir is already starting to do.
Yeah, Glarvir's got the attention. So
Right.
if Glarvir, like we know now that Glarvir is not gonna make it with the speed.
Yeah.
So basically, it's going to be like, can Glarvir take the hits for several minutes?
Yeah. Well, actually,
Unless
yeah. I
nothing
mean,
else
obviously,
changes.
Terrell's not going to let him do it by himself. Obviously, he's going to get involved and help him out. But yeah, if Cameron conveys this to Terrell in character, then Terrell will assist Glarvir. Otherwise, I have a different plan entirely.
Is there any way for me to speed up the summoning? Is this a hard limit?
Yeah, you can work quickly. But you would need to succeed very well for that to kick off.
Oh boy. Okay. I'll attempt it. I'm going to attempt to negate summoning it under my own power as speedily as I can.
Yep. So successes over the obstacle allocated to working quickly reduce the overall time by 10% each. So just make a mad success of this roll, Matthew, and we'll have it done in a jiff.
You just know, Cameron, that whether you succeed or fail isn't important to Glarvir. It's that you try.
Okay. So this will be the summoning roll, not a circle roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I can't fork anything in at this point. I will use, what's an Arthur get me? Is it 1 dice or 3 dice?
Persona points get you 1 die each, and you can spend up to 3 on one roll.
I'm going to spend 3 of these bad boys because I have some banked. So.
Oh, big summoner in town! Watch out, wraiths!
Oh no! I haven't got 83 persona.
It's clapping. What did I miss?
Cameron is busting out 3 persona for this roll.
Oh shit! Okay. All right.
It's going down.
To be fair, we're all been spending persona like it's
what
candy
is the
so
base
far,
obstacle?
Yeah, that this is something I'm looking up now because this is based on your specific shit. So the restless dead are 3.
3. Now, oh, for fuck's sake.
9 dice.
Are we
Wait,
kidding? Are you
look at
kidding
those
me here?
ones.
No, wait. No, wait.
Are you fucking? Is this fucking
Look at
serious
those
here?
ones.
I know. Like, what
No,
the hell
it's-
is that roll?
No, but I get 1 advantage on summon the Restless Dead from the thing I have. So I get an extra dice. I wasn't sure where to put that.
Are you trying to summon it or are you trying to control it?
Summon it. Summon it
That's
to
the-
me.
So basically, if you spend a fate point and roll your extra dice and they're both successses,
You
get
get it.
Well, I'm going to roll the extra dice now because it doesn't matter if that.
Yeah, legit, yeah.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So
that's
to highlight this, I will read out the results of Cameron Redwin's 10 die roll here. We've got a magnificent 6. We've got an incredible 2. Then we've got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Just
told
to
you-
highlight how
Oh my
horseshit this
God.
I
was.
told you, Derry. It's not just your game. It's
I
every
fucking
game. It's
can't
every-
believe that shit.
Like I said, man, it's not whether you succeed or fail; it's that you tried.
You tried.
All right.
That's,
Well,
that's what matters to Glarvir.
Amazing.
And if you try to get on the NX turn, that'd be grand as well.
Okay, so Cameron and
I get experience though, right? For
that's
this.
true. You get to add
in the
to it.
summoning?
yeah,
Is this
you
counted
get
as
to add a routine tick on your thing there.
Oh, no, no. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're rolling 10 dice.
Yeah. Seriously. You should have gotten that. It should have been
1
8.
success. 10 dice.
that's the biggest roll I've done in the entire game so far.
Yeah,
Look at it.
biggest roll
Look at it.
anyone's done in the game.
Yeah, even me, and I'm the elf. And I'm routinely roll 9s.
boy.
It actually takes more. It's more unlikely to get that result than a success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I shouldn't have closed the book, but I was so amazed I needed to address that and
I'm
not
glad
hold
I
on to
managed
the book.
to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, man.
I gotta say, magic is very harsh in this system.
Do you know what's going to happen?
He's gonna say it.
He's going to. The race is going to look at me and went, "You what, mate?" He's going to come at me.
Okay.
It's one of my highest skills, guys. It's one of
Yeah.
the things I'm actually like built to do.
And
Yeah,
also
that
make
tapped
sure to
my
mark
ass a
down
bit. It's hard.
the fact that you spent 3 persona on your summoning skill. It's in one of the
Oh,
boxes.
how do I do that?
There's little
there's a
circles
circle.
next to it that say
Oh,
FP
okay.
and whatever.
What does that make? What does that do exactly? Like-
When you get enough of those, it will become easier for you to succeed. So, and this is long term right now, but currently all our dice, the reason why they are like B4 or B9 is because the quote unquote shade of the die is black. And when you spend enough Artha on your skill or attribute or whatever, you can shade shift it to gray. And a gray die succeeds on a 3, 4, 5, and 6 instead of 4, 5, and 6.
Right. Okay.
So that's
Will it
perfect.
automatically happen once I get enough.
Yeah, when you get like when you have finished putting in enough stuff in it, it will just flip.
Okay.
Okay, so
Interesting.
what do we even do here? Angry spirits.
Die.
Aye.
That's the end of the adventure. Die. Killed in a wild quarry by a ghost.
Mm,
What are you on about? I'm already looking up how to gen a dark elf.
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I think it's what happens is you're fighting in the sort of central area of this, and there's the exit or the entrance rather, and then there's the chambers further in, and there's that whole pile of armor lining up the sort of hallway as you get in from the entrance, and there's an armor stand that falls down and the pieces go clattering on the ground. And Glarvir, you need to like step around this stuff because it's like, oh, what now? And you're like, you don't have time to pay too much attention to that because you're dodging the now ashen sword, and there is on the place where the armor was on this stand, the like figure stand for plate mail and stuff. It's an outline of another ghostly knight, and it sort of leans down as if to pick something up, and a similar large sword like materializes in its ghostly hand, and it turns its helmeted head towards Gamron, and there's yet another screech of hatred and death, and it charges in, Cameron, towards you. 2 knights now.
Do I need to make a fear roll again?
No. It's that's all dealt with now.
Okay,
I think at this point,
this is make it worse. I'm
just going to shout to Tyrael. I'm going to be like, "Protect Cameron!" while I'm like trying to fend this thing off.
What do you think I'm doing?
Do you know what?
I don't know. I'm busy getting stabbed.
I've just
It's
realized
time to go, Glarvir.
I can't even help my magic. Do you know why? Because I took fatigue points last session, and I'm pretty sure I won't be able to cast anything.
Well, you could try. You could make the rolls. For one, this roll is incredible. Well, this goes down as one of the worst rolls in my history.
It's one of the worst rolls I've ever seen in a game. Yeah. And Matthew has rolled some of the worst rolls I've ever seen.
I'm so glad to have provided this moment for everyone.
Yeah, Matthew.
But I feel that the one thing that I thought I could do.
I hate it.
Just know that you have created a moment that will live long in our tales.
No, I play role-playing games to try and be good at things. You know what I mean? Like to try and have skills that I don't have normally. This is not meant to be realistic.
Alright, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
So, 2 knights. One of them is definitively going to kill Glarvir if this doesn't get resolved. Glarvir is not fast enough to get away.
Okay.
Gonna get shanked.
But the second knight I can interfere with my sword with now,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Good. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leap forward, get between me and get between Cameron and it, and try to do this again with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Because I should be good at that, but unfortunately, all the while I'm saying we need to go.
Yeah. So let's pause there.
That'd be great if I could hear you.
Terrell is yelling like, "We need to go. We need to leave." Right. So Cameron, you're right there. Glarvir as well. You choose whether or not you are capable of getting on with this program. But if that is what Terrell is yelling, does that tie into your intent as well? You could. I'm just putting this out here so we can, grapple with this situation.
If it would allow me to affect both of these things with my sword,
yeah.
My intent would be to attempt to deflect and delay these 2 wraiths so that both Glarvir and Cameron can get out. I'm fast. I can run away if I need to. I can disengage if I need to. I know I can probably, but these 2 need to have some lead time.
So I would say, if you want to say that you're, because we're sort of getting to grips with the intent and task of this. So your intent is, I will hold these things off or create a situation such that we can leave this place.
Yes.
That is fine.
To create the space to retreat.
Yeah. I like to think at this point you'll probably see a look of grim resignation coming across Glarvir's face.
You're too quick to want to die, Glarvir.
No, the hour is at hand. Strike here.
It is a good day to die.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah,
let's go. I'll do that with my sword, because my sword can still affect these things if I actually, hit them. All right, because this is important, I'll automatically dump in that last. I have 2 persona points. This is the last one I feel I can safely use. After this, the money train's over, guys. So let's do that. There's nothing really useful for forking, I don't believe. No really help coming at it. No advantages. I am working at a disadvantage, so obviously this is the Wrath is just basically balancing that at this stage. And just hit a 1, obviously, because we're gonna. Oh, come on!
Yep. Well, you've got 5 and 3 6s. So
Come on, if that doesn't
Yep.
fucking do it, I don't know what's gonna do
Yep.
it.
So basically here, this is a thing where there's a couple of ways to look at this. And the easiest for us here is saying that because of your wound, the Wraith gets 1 success because of the way that we're doing opposed rolls, right? So you don't need to succeed over anything aside from what the Wraith rolls.
Yeah.
Like the Wraith's result sets the obstacle and then +1 on top of that, and then that's
Sure,
it.
yeah.
So
Do your
here
roll,
goes.
do your worst.
Come on.
Or hopefully not your worst.
Yeah. Oh,
You fucking
interesting.
shitting
Okay,
me.
so
Oh wait, okay, no,
Yep.
wait a second. Wait a second. I have
Mhm.
fate points.
mhm.
I have plenty of 6s, right?
yeah, you have 3 6s, which is the
Okay.
best amount to have.
That's right. So
as
what I'm
we
saying
know.
here, so I'm saying here is it worth it for me to just dab on that? Because I don't want to be
Yes.
tied with this thing.
Yes, yes,
I don't want to be tied
yes.
with this thing. Okay. cool.
1000% is
All right,
worth
let's
spending your
do,
fate.
Let's do. Can I do it one at a time to see how we like?
You only need to spend 1 and you reroll all 3.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yep.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that.
Yep.
I thought it was
Great
1
value.
each. Oh, this fucking fate's great. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, hold on. 3d6s then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Please, big money. Please, big money.
There we go. There we go. 2 more.
Yes.
You are
Eat shit,
successful.
ghost.
And this is less about you being able to like martially
No, that's
defeat
not the
these
point
guys.
of the action now.
We've already kind of dealt with that part.
Yeah,
but
we've
this is-
established that. They
yeah,
have
you-
superiority here.
You are now able to maneuver these Wraiths so that you
I can
can
hurt them with my sword, so everyone
if-
else can see.
yeah, because your sword is like material to them, so they
Yeah,
need to
to
actually
them, I can
work
hurt
around
them. They know that, but
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
don't really fear me at the moment.
Yeah, this is it's more like, oh, I need to actually stop and address
Deal with
you.
this guy, right?
Like
exactly,
I
yeah.
can't just walk
That's
up
right.
like to this dwarf and just stab him because the dwarf can't do shit.
Yeah.
So if now Tyrell has opened up the way out, and you can see this, Glarvir and Cameron, you could go, and Tyrell presumably is still being like, "Fly, you fools!"
Go already, you morons!
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Obviously, we've seen he's opened the way.
Yeah.
I understand that. Do I think that like Tyrell's going to be able to like get out himself?
Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
fast-legged freak. Yeah, I can get out.
You can see the thing that he's doing.
I'm
and
hurting
you can
them
see-
away and keeping them back with
Yeah.
my sword.
It's a case of like you can see it coming. Like 20 seconds from now, if we all bolt, we can make it.
And do you know what? If I hadn't made one of my beliefs that I was going to deal with this ghost, that'd be amazing. However, I did.
Okay,
But there's
Cameron.
2 of them now.
Does dealing with the ghost mean defeating it though?
Yeah, I mean, what does dealing with that mean?
Well,
I mean,
that's fairly nebulous, but I'm pretty sure dealing with them doesn't mean running away from them.
all right, I have a question here.
Mhm.
I'm just kind of looking at our chart for it. This system doesn't have anything that really lets you do this, I don't think.
Let me know what you're trying to do, and I'll.
So essentially, I'm as Tyrell going through all of this, seeing them stand there and then try to stand their ground when literally the only end result of the situation is that we all die if we don't run. Is going to annoy him for sure. So, out of character and in this system, if this was like Fate, I could use one of my Fate points, or in this case, the equivalent would be Aratha, to sort of like try to like make a compel to convince Glarvir to fuck off.
Well, as a player of this game, and we can all do this, and there's a lot of this like out of character talk, as we have already figured out probably. So we could all say here that, well, Glarvir does seem to have an incredible situation here to deal with some of these belief stuff, either to try and succeed in them. The odds of that going well, probably not great. The situation considered here, or Glarvir could try and go the other way. And
There's also the conflict of beliefs here, because he has the
Yeah.
one belief that says he has to like protect us. So
Yes.
protecting us would be running away at this
And
stage.
thus do I
and
become the mold breaker.
Yeah, whereas the other one would be obviously dealing with the ghost, but dealing with the ghost that's amorphous. Once we're gone from this reliquary, they are dealt with. So I would make the argument that it would be clinging to his one belief by doing what's best for the group and running, you could also make a nebulous argument that the ghosts are not dealt with because they're out of sight, out of mind.
There's basically what Glarvir is looking at here is victory either way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No matter what you do,
regardless, right?
You can get to the bank with this. So
I could offer a piece of advice to our bigger, better, stronger elf over there. He could point out that you need to think of the bigger picture, and we can deal with these wraiths when we flood the city.
Well, I can't. Obviously, I'm in the middle of sword fighting.
Yeah, I was going to say we can't really have a
I don't
discussion
have
in character.
I don't have the scope in character to make this convincing argument. The argument is out of character where, Glarvir stays. We basically die.
To be honest,
leave him to die.
From my out of character point of view, the best way to get Glarvir out of here would be to point out how much danger Cameron's in. Because
obviously Cameron's in the position to do that, not Terrail.
Because obviously Terrail, I sort of know you can take care of yourself, and I'm pledged to protect members of the Fellowship, which includes Cameron. So if Cameron's oh my lord, help! Then
please get us out of here.
Then I'll be oh yeah, obviously he's a member of the Fellowship. I've got to sort of help him get him out of here.
Guess it is me to go.
Yeah. So. I guess what's happening here is if this is me just what we could do. Cameron, you're sort of stood now once more kind of free because Terrell swept in and is doing this sword dance now, which is setting up this move of you guys leaving the reliquary. What do you do? Glarvir is busy, Terrell is busy.
I'm standing back up towards the entrance.
Yeah, so Cameron's going back.
I'm sort of readying a spell. I don't know if I can talk and cast a spell in the same sort of round. I don't know how.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
And I'm going to shout out to Glarvir. It says I can't get out of the city without your help, Glarvir. We can't get out of here without you. Don't stand there and just get stabbed. We could deal with them on the way out.
I think that'll give me pause, and then I'll probably start trying to make my way towards Cameron.
Yeah, and as established, Terrell, you can see your friends starting to move towards the entrance.
And
I will try, and obviously this is going to blow up the entire city when I do this, because this is how my day is going.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try and use my shards against the Wraith, the original Wraith.
Yeah, who's dealing with Glarvir right now. Yeah. Okay, with the intent of
damaging him, but merely distracting him. Giving him pause for thought, confusing him for a second, just to give some distance.
Okay.
I'm surrounded by stonework, so I can use the shards.
Yeah. So you can go to the magic part, and there should be the die icon.
I'm gonna do it.
So you can just go ahead and blast that on.
Yeah. Okay. What's the obstacle? Base obstacle 2.
It's built into the thing, so it should take it from the sheet. Yeah. Look at this! Look at this magic pro.
That's even with my negatives.
Thank Christ.
I'll get XP as well. Ooh, yeah. It's a routine, isn't it? That goes all in there.
Yeah, that's routine. Yep.
Goes in my sorcery.
Okay. Pull this up. So shards is an interesting spell in that it uses wooden and stone materials in your surroundings. So with a gesture, Cameron gouges massive splinters from where? You're in a stone building. So where do you?
I'm going to say the stone floor, just from the floor. Yeah. I think that'll be safest.
Yeah. So gouges appear on the stone floor, and these slivers of stone just fly up from it into the wraith. And Okay,
Imagine
what's your
if it
will?
imagine if all it took it to kill it was just to hit it with something.
Yeah, well,
My
this
will,
this isn't just anything. This is magic.
my will is 4, B4.
4.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you deal a B4 wound to the wraith as a result of this. Now, that wasn't really your intention as such to, hurt it, but to, delay it, confuse it, such. And it is confused. These Glarvir, you can see now this like ash-covered ghost knight is impaled with stone spikes that flew somewhere from behind you, and it's sort of it floats backwards, looking down at its body, now impaled by these stones, allowing you to just clearly get away. The knight is no longer upon thee.
Yeah, I'm going to fall back in a disciplined manner, the idea being to, like, keep Cameron behind me, and then we can sort of both back out with him behind me.
Yep.
Is it like, this is just, I don't know if I can do this while we're moving, but is it, would I need Wraith-wise to know if these things are bound to a location? Or were they, if they
Something
can
to
follow
that
us?
effect, like spirits-wise, the what do you call it? The restless dead-wise, wraith-wise, that sort of thing.
Okay, I think I'll go Restless Dead-wise. Give it
Okay.
a shot because that covers enough ground. But
So
still
what do you
kind of-
want to say then? Are you asking me, or are you establishing that they are?
I think that I mean, this sounds like it's very advantageous to me, but I think
That's what you're supposed to do, Matthew. That's
yeah,
entirely
that's
what you're supposed to do.
I think that they are wraiths. These wraiths in particular are bound to a location.
Mhm.
How far they can go beyond that location, that's up to you. But they are stuck. They cannot. They have to return to it, or appear from that
Remain
location.
somewhere.
So
Yep.
Restless Dead wise. Is this a will skill?
Perception.
Perception. Oh, lots of perception skills. Boom.
Yeah. All wises are perception.
Restless Dead. I don't have any help. Oh, do I get?
Means
No,
elf
I
can be super
I
wise.
suppose I won't.
Mhm.
What's the obstacle for this? No.
I'm gonna say it's obstacle 2.
2, which makes it a 4. But
sounds plausible to me. So there you go.
I'm starting
And 3
to-
6s as well on top. Okay, so they're probably bound to something in this location because this is where they appeared. Whether it's the building itself, some objects inside, you don't know, but you know that we have just established that wraiths like these are bound to something and they can't go very far away from
But
that.
it's not that weapon. That'll be awkward. Okay.
Wouldn't that be a thing a GM would do? Okay, so you're also taxed for being a wizard. So where is this?
Yeah, I'm currently at 3 fatigue.
Yep. So give me a fort roll.
Oh no.
And it's obstacle 2.
Okay. So even though I got the spell off.
Yeah, that's just magic. Okay. Add 1, so minus 4 now.
Oh man.
The power is taking a toll on you.
What state is Cameron in now? I mean, is he literally like collapsing, or is he just like, I fear the vapors may take me?
Yeah, Cameron, as you exit, and Tyrell, you're no doubt not very far behind. What's Cameron's situation as Glarvir is like turning around, like looking at you now?
He's full of adrenaline at the moment, but you can see he's flagging. He looks. Yeah, the dust seems to like really make his eyes stand out at the moment, and he seems to be kind of hunched a little bit as he's kind of moving.
I think I'm probably gonna like throw one of Cameron's sort of arms over my shoulder just to like try and help steady him, and I'll just be like, "Come on, lad, you've done enough. Come on," like trying to like help him and support him as we're like going.
And I'm sort of telling him as he's carrying those things should. They're usually bound to somewhere. If we can get further enough away, they shouldn't be able to follow, assuming it isn't bound to the thing that we took.
Good. Save your strength then. Less talking. One foot in front of the other. Come on.
And as you all dash out, Tyrell, I'm making assumptions here that you actually do want to leave.
With post haste.
No.
Yeah. So as you all dash out of the reliquary, you are greeted by generous rain. The storm that was brewing because of the sorceries of Rathewen has arrived.
Okay.
The thunder is no longer in the distance; it's here, and so is the rain. So the entire city blanketed in fairly heavy rain, and there's crashing lightning going off periodically. You're now in the Silver Steps outside the reliquary, and you know where you're entering. You can still use your secret alleyway route that you established before. That's still fine. So if you want to, you can use your previous knowledge of the area to get to where your exit out of the sewers was. If you want to do something else, that's fine too. I just wanted to highlight that that's still okay for you guys.
My plan at the minute is to take the route that we took in. Obviously, I'll be trying to do it as quickly as possible because obviously the sewers will start filling with water because of the rain, etc. So
that's what they are for.
Yeah, so I'll be like trying to spur on camera. I'll be shouting to Tyrell, I'll be like, "Come on, the sewers will soon flood with this water. We've got to move." And I'll be trying to like hustle as quickly as my stumpy little legs will carry me.
Right.
Tyrell will allow them to proceed ahead of them, and then he will mystically vanish into the city.
Okay. I suppose then, unless Glarvir and Cameron, unless you want to oppose this, because yours are
I don't think I can.
I'm pretty much concentrating on Cameron at the minute. So I've no reason to suspect that Tyrell's going to be like, and like vanish into the shadows. So.
Yeah. So Cameron and Glarvir, you make it to the entrance into the sewers, and of course you will.
Just a point. Who's got the amulet at the minute? Oh, you've got it, have you? Sweet.
Yeah. I made sure that it wasn't on me. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So as you are there at the entrance, it's like, let's go quickly, and then it's like, there's no Tyrell. You both
Probably
realize.
sung one of his songs. He'll be nearby, no doubt. Only a fool would go off in the city alone.
I sort of look like very torn because I'm like, obviously I've got to get you out of here, but like I don't like for a moment I'm sort of like not sure where to go, which, you know, Glarvir's normally like, right, I'm doing this, let's go. But for a moment he looks torn because I'm like sworn to protect the fellowship.
It's
Obviously
easier
that's
for him
you,
to find us than
and
us to
it's
find him.
I'm just going to roll the dice, see what I'm going to do, because I'm not sure what I'd actually do. So 1 to 3, I'll just go with it.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So I'm just going to sort of like look at Cameron and I sort of take half a step to like towards the entrance. I'm like, we can't just leave him in the city.
They have no idea where I went.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, so I'm just like, you're in the city somewhere. I'm just like,
Okay,
I swore to protect the fellowship. I can't just abandon him now.
I've got a contingency. I can find him, but it's dangerous. Okay, I turn to my familiar, Johannes. And I go, do you have his scent?
Let's look at.
I would like to oppose that if possible.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes.
Does your invisibility cover smell as well?
I mean, I'm a trained elven ranger. Like,
yeah, man, that elven invisibility's pimp.
Oh, damn. Oh, he's on my sheet.
So
not like that, but it's like even then I could also like disguise my scent. I mean, I know this is not my first rodeo. Like, I have ways to defy you if I want to.
Bullshit, you can make your smell different.
You can.
Yeah, he just hangs a Glade plug-in off himself.
That's it. I'll cover myself with some manure, and then you're not going to smell. You're going to smell.
He's got all those little like trees you get in cars, like hanging from himself. Pine fresh.
And some Lynx Africa on.
That's right.
Oh,
Boom,
Christ.
So, Cameron, I've turned your sheet over to the rogues page, and here we have all your familiar stats.
do I have to roll for this? How do I do
Yes.
this?
So we're gonna roll for this. So yep, just Drury, roll whatever you're doing to get away, and against obstacle, whatever.
Yeah.
One.
Obstacle
if,
one, right? Yeah.
If and Matthew, you can just click on the skills die there on the left.
Oh, okay, right. Right, okay. Skill, it's just called skill. Okay. Base obstacle to find him. Do I have to wait for him?
It's one. It's one because we're opposing now.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Okay. So you send your familiar
Elves.
away. This will take some time. So your
Okay.
familiar has disappeared into the stormy city. What do you guys do? Do you wait here for the familiar to come back?
I'll be sort of looking to Cameron to like explain because I don't really know what he's done.
I've sent my
It's like,
creature. My
I know
friend
what we
off
can
to-
do.
Yeah, I've sent my
And I'm
I've sent
like,
my creature. I've sent my friend off here to try and track the elves. They're all sent, like a hound would. Glarvir.
and
Hunting hound.
will your creature be able to find us once its mission is accomplished?
You'll be able to find me, yes. We are linked, but I cannot guarantee it will be able to find Tyrell due to the fact that he is, as we know, highly capable elf. But we'll see. I have a third option, but it takes time and I need rest.
Fine, let's move. Let's get you out of here.
I just want to highlight here from the sides that summoning doesn't cause tax, Matthew. Just saying.
Yeah. However,
I don't know that.
I'm not saying I'm scared to do it again. But I went all in on that roll. I haven't got the juice to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And that was my lowest level of summoning.
Yeah.
Like, if I mess up, I could potentially introduce another angry creature, and it's just the two of us. That's the problem I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
I need time to stack the deck, as it were, if I'm going to do it a second time.
I'm just I'm gonna throw Cameron's arm over myself, and I'm gonna say, well, when I took this axe, I swore that I would face whatever horrors the future brings, along with humankind, and renew the bonds of friendship between our race. Come on, let's move.
Yes.
We need to get to Rathewen and give her the
This
amulet.
city has not been a friend to dwarf, nor elf, nor human for many, many years.
No, 'tis a cursed place. And then we're gonna hot foot it to like midway Rathewen.
Sewers. Yeah. Nothing really of substance has changed there yet because you guys went there immediately, so it's not flooded. The route is still there. If you want to get out of Dulceria, you could just head that way.
Yeah, we're just heading to the was it the glade where we'd arranged to meet Rathewen?
I don't remember. Did we have a?
Let me check the notes. I'm
I'm
sure.
sure we had a
point?
rendezvous point. She
We
wants
did.
the
It
thing
was.
we're
It was.
after.
She was supposed to retreat back into the forest to a predetermined spot. I believe we discussed that when we made the plan.
So somewhere in the Weeping Wheel, then.
Yeah. In the Weaving Wheel.
It was somewhere in the woods. I forget exactly where.
Yeah. So that'll be like quite the distance. Like that would be a good distance. This isn't you guys meeting
Several miles.
in
Yeah.
in the like more than that. Like this isn't you guys meeting in the outskirts of the city. Then,
Yeah.
if we're going like all the way back. But yeah, let's. Do you want to meet up with Rathewen according to plan anyway? Do you want to have planned to meet up like a couple hours later, or next week?
I believe it was like when everyone was not being chased and could do so, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah,
like some hours away.
Yeah. So pretty much as soon as possible, because obviously we want to
Yeah.
regroup and then
Yeah, cool.
flee.
Yeah. Okay, so this is your plan, and you can, if you want to, use the sewers to head out.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Okay, Terrell,
Hello.
you are.
You sure you're not a dark elf? This seems like a very dark elf thing to do.
Yeah, you're out at night.
Just storm off in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my intention is to make my way to the dam of the city,
Mm-hmm.
and the intention is to release the dam.
Oh man, how bad would it have been for us if we were still in the sewer?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So you're going to try and sabotage the
you need to
mechanism.
fulfill my belief, which is to stymie the King of the North and his forces. Flooding half his capital city should do that a fair trick.
So give us yeah, by which means are you doing this?
I intend to reach/get to it by stealth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that fulfills all the role I would need to do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I will roll an additional stealth roll then.
Yep, because that was with the fox. The fox is not going to find you.
Yeah, he ain't finding shit. Where's my stealth? Here, 1 second. Let's hope my luck holds. Do I tempt fate? I think I kind of have to. I have 1 persona point left.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I kind of need to use it to make this work. This is a big move, so if I get caught flat-footed, though, I'm kind of screwed.
Mm-hmm.
But let's hope for the best. Oh, not the best. Oh, there is a 6 in there though, so I'll definitely want to re-roll that probably if necessary.
Yeah.
Let me know if I need to re-roll anything.
Yeah. Once again, we'll add 1 on top of this because of your wound.
It already did.
No, on my success.
Oh, right. Got it. You just sorry.
Yeah.
You can take the base 2. Got
so
it. Yep.
There's going to be some guards there, and
Sure.
they're going to roll their observation, which is the thing you use against stealth.
Yeah, of course.
And
do they get a disadvantage or something because of the rain?
Oh, that's right.
That's a good point.
We
Yeah.
would have
The storm.
both.
That's right.
We would have both put on disadvantages here, so we're neither of us are going.
Let's just say it's 0
yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So good on me setting up that. Oh, the storm, and then just. Beep. Okay. Oh,
All right.
3.
Can I re-roll that?
So the guards are at 4 now because of the wound. If you do two sixes, then
yeah, I think it's worth trying.
yeah, it is absolutely is.
I have plenty of fate. I'm not a persona, but I have plenty of fate.
And that was the last the Fellowship saw of Terrell.
Well, maybe we'll find out.
Man, comes back with his head.
Almost.
Oh man.
Almost. So I think what happens is you're in this. I don't have the terminology for this, but you are in the tower because, of course, it's a tower. This is the Old Kingdom. It's the tower that houses the control mechanism for the various things in the dam.
Yeah.
To control the flow of the water and make it flow according to the construction of the city and not flood the city.
Yeah, which is what I want to do.
Yeah. So you're in there, and yeah, I think you get into the room where you see there across the room there's the big wheel mechanism with the like pegs on it to like turn the thing. You can see it there in the back, and as you get in the room, there's 4 guards who just turn to look at you immediately, and then it's that slow motion of like getting the spears and swords.
Yeah, so I mean, if I have to go through them to get to the wheel, that's what I'll do.
Yeah,
Captain.
Just play it cool. Just like steady on,
gentlemen.
Even.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's like it's fucking pissing down out there.
I mean, I suppose I can't persuade them that I'm just.
No, it's they're throwing steel.
Yeah, I don't mind. They want to fucking throw down.
Yeah, they absolutely will.
Let's do it. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm guessing this is my only option really here because I'm thinking it's probably a fairly large wheel. I actually have to be at the wheel to move it. It's not just going to move of its own accord. like in a movie where you do some
you
weird
have
bow
some
shit with
like
the.
I was going to say
authorial.
fire an arrow into it.
That's what I'm
with one of the
saying. Like,
handles,
that's what I was thinking, but
Yeah, you have some authorial room here to maneuver.
Okay.
Like basically, tell me what you want to do.
okay.
and
So
we'll-
here's what my optimal intention would be. My
Mhm,
optimal intention would be to throw the dam
mhm.
and escape at the same time,
Yeah.
possibly out a
Okay,
window,
basically, what,
possibly
okay,
into flooding water. But
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than deal with whatever's left of this army.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
I do this.
So okay, so we're saying your intent is to like overflow the river into the city
Yeah, I want to release the dam. Exactly. Correct.
and make with the escape.
And escape into the flooding waters, probably. Yeah, because that's pretty
Mhm.
much, I think,
Yeah.
my best
Okay,
shout
yeah,
at this point.
let's go with that then. Yeah, sure. So
Okay. It's the happy elf hour.
yeah,
lovely
Happy
Matthew.
yeah. So
So I'm
good.
thinking the only way for me to like do that is what? Maybe with the bow. I mean, are we trying to do some trick shot like
you
movies
tell me.
level shit here? And I'm like
You
flying
tell
out
me.
the window while I do it. Or
Are you Legolas or are you running into the room, swiping with your sword some critical component, and then jumping out the window? Like what
I
are you
mean,
doing?
Legolasing it would probably be actually better because my bow is better than my sword. So, but you tell me what's more appropriate.
No, it's entirely up to you. Both
Okay,
are workable things as far as
Then
I'm
I will
concerned.
say it's going to be like there's a window
Yep.
that an elf can go out of. It's going to be
Yes,
fly out the window,
absolutely.
shoot the bow, knock out the thing, and then join the waters and hope for the best.
Yeah. So I'm imagining like you get there and then it was just a dead corner, right? Like you couldn't have seen the guards.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to see the guys, right?
And
yeah.
and you
Just
didn't
turn
hear
like,
them
oh,
either.
Okay.
Like you get there and then like, oh shit, and then like slow motion, bring out the bow.
Yeah.
You pick like, oh, that's probably the rope that I need to
That's
shoot,
it.
and then
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down with it. Let's do it.
yeah. Okay. So
And I'm assuming they're going to attempt to interpose themselves or tackle me. Or
I'm gonna put a static thing here.
Oh, that's even better. I love
think.
that. Static difficulty is
I
even better.
think because they're sort of like they weren't expecting like a infiltrator.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Right.
let's go with where am I again? Okay, here we go. So I think like this is something you could do, but I think it's a risky act.
Okay.
Mainly not because you couldn't hit the thing with the bow. It's risky because there's people there about to stab you, and that means it's obstacle 4.
Okay. Okay.
To make your escape and also release the Kraken.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
And we're not adding difficulties. You absolutely get trashed by the rain, but we're inside now.
Well, I'm inside, yeah. So, oh, you said the difficulty is what again? 4?
Yep.
So it's okay.
It's going to turn into a 5.
It's going to turn into a fudging 5. I really don't like my chances here. I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Okay, hold on. I got a 6 in there though.
Yep.
All right, we're
also,
doing it.
I didn't discuss what would happen if you failed, but that's on me.
We'll come back to it in a minute here.
Yep.
I suppose I'd rather escape and fail than succeed and not escape. I guess.
Let me worry about that. You just roll more 6s if you want to.
Here, let me roll. See if I get more 6s though.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for 6s.
Yep.
Please, for the love of God.
You only need 2 of them.
Well, why?
That's half. Or 1/4 rather.
All right. So it's only 3 successes, right?
Yeah, only 3 successes. It's a difficult thing for your bow as well.
Yeah. So that's good for my bow.
Yeah, that is good.
I need those because building the bow up at a 6 is actually kind of hard.
Yeah, because you need higher obstacles. So
all right.
You get there and you're like, I need to do this. Otherwise, this trip here would have been stupid to like get here. I need to actually do something with the dam. So you bring out the bow, rapidly shoot, The arrow flies,
Mhm.
slices the rope that you intended to, and the wheel like it clunks forward a bit, and
Mhm.
then some machinery like clunks deeper in the tower, and it starts spinning slowly.
Okay.
And
But now I'm dealing with the 4
yeah,
guards
no,
trying to
and
escape.
you're like, okay, I'm going, and one of the guards has already thrown a spear at you, and
Right. So now I have to like parkour away from the spear, basically.
nah, you're getting tagged with a spear.
Oh, I'm getting tagged. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'll take a tag. Okay, I'll take
Yeah.
a tag.
And let me figure this out. I did not have a spear on the ready, but we'll take a quick.
Am I seriously with? I'm the only player here right now.
I
Everyone's abandoned the elf hour.
yeah, it's they've left the city.
I know, that's right. Yeah, they literally left the scene completely.
Okay, javelin. Here we go.
Sorry to bore Glarvir and Cameron, but we're trying to prevent disaster in human lands. Honestly.
Yeah, sorry for doing all the work. Jeez.
I'm going to hold you to that phraseology, by the way, when we go over our offer later. By the way,
No, I think there's a good there's a good effort.
Good shot of
being put
it.
forward
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So let's see. Well, I think we're going to turn it over to. Yeah, I'll just do a d6 for the javelin, and we'll see
This determines
which
damage.
bracket it ends on.
Okay.
Oh shit! So it got you good.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a bad one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But again, I have no idea how this injury chart works. We went over it once, and then it all went out of my brain.
Yeah.
So
And it's not like we're gonna put a wound there, and it's gonna be fine. So, well, I'm kind of into the fact that we're here because now we have time to futz about this.
yeah, right. Seriously.
Okay, javelin has posting.
I should have spent some fate to shrug off last turn. Wouldn't have helped still, but maybe the next round.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to need to at that point, probably.
Right. So what I'm trying to determine is what the exact thing is for thrown weapons, for how much it hurts exactly. I know a part of that equation, but not the other part. And well, we're all here, so we'll put a pin in that, and it's on the conservative side regardless of what the actual math would have been, but we're gonna call it another B4,
which I'm do you want me to hit the B3 as well?
Yeah, but repeat the dots and
yeah. So in this case, because obviously it's still superficial, I don't get another penalty, thankfully, until I hit the third one.
Yeah,
but
and then it deducts one of your dice.
Yes. So,
which is bad times.
Which is even worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. All right. So I get tagged.
Yeah. You get the shot off. You think the mechanism is unwinding, and as you're like going for the window, there's the and then you pitch out the window with a javelin sticking out of your back and swoosh into the river.
Oh, I still get out at least. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
They just gave you a souvenir.
They just got me. All right, that's fine.
Mhm. Yeah, and
take
now you're
that.
in the river. What happens now? What do you do?
My intention is to follow the river out of this godforsaken city and then make my way to the rendezvous.
Well, that sounds wonderful, and there's not really anyone who would get in the river as such.
And even
Well-
if they could see the river into the river at the moment, they're gonna have a lot more problems on their hands in a few minutes. So
Yeah. So I will say though, like this is like you float out of the city.
yeah. I mean, I can swim, but yeah, I'm hurting right now. I gotta deal with a spear first, right? Get this fucking thing out of my.
So you float out of the city, increasingly with like more water. As the lake starts emptying in here, and as we see on the map, there's a fair bit that runs through the city, and as I've described, it's a sort of promenade area where there's a lot of sort of open space on either side of the river. There's like town square type deals. There's like market areas, open air, event locations.
From our intelligence, which is why I took this action, it's we were told that most of his people and his forces, or a lot of his people and his forces, are in the lower part of the city where the river would overflow it. So it wasn't just for nothing.
Yep, and you can't see it yet, and probably won't ever see it with your own eyes. But eventually, the river will go over the bank on the southern side, but it doesn't fill up quick enough for you to see it actually like go over the lip. But it will.
I trust how physics work.
Yeah.
In this,
so
unless some kind of magic stops it for some reason.
Yeah. No, surprise. It was the crown of water all along.
Right. Yeah. It says crown of fire, so I'm hoping I'm safe in that regard.
Yeah. So you float in the river, trying to, like, at the very least look like a corpse, I guess, if you're not actively swimming.
Yeah, I suppose once I'm out of view, I can get a little more aggressive about getting myself out, but sort of just flowing with the rest of the refuse for now is fine.
As you go along, you can see along the promenade, there's like decrepit market areas. You can see there's one particular one which seems like sort of like town square, in that there's pillars topped with statues of long ago heroes, that sort of thing. You can see around these pillars just bodies of armored individuals. The armor just fully rusted, like clearly exposed to the elements for a very, very long time. And there's bones sticking out. Presumably they've been there for a while as well. And you can see these like pillars, the bases of them littered with bodies that have no heads and are covered in this rusted armor. And you do see a sizable pile of skull and helmet as well in the same area. So there's like an execution square, you think?
Yeah, it's a grisly little square. Mm-hmm.
I'm
like, so glad I'm flooding the city.
And that's on the northern side, so you perhaps lament that it won't necessarily get flooded, but there's scenes of brutality that you pass along the promenade, and eventually you end up floating out of the city all the way like beyond the summer gate. And I suppose because we know that Glarvir and Cameron already made it out, because your route in the sewers, you didn't faff about too long, so it wasn't flooded. You're fine. And now Tyrell is out as well. So I think we'll, cut into the reunion somewhere hours away.
Deep in the weeping world.
Are we aware of what's happening in the city? Like this, is this a very visible thing?
I suppose you would.
On your way out, they might have seen it.
Yeah, on your way out,
the water,
like when you're outside the walls.
Yeah,
you can see that the dam is giving way too much water, and it's starting to spill into the districts. I think you'll see like a tower topple in the distance.
Hmm.
But yeah, we'll cut into. There's another copse of trees that you set out for your reunion, and you're there if you so choose. I'm presuming that you all follow the trail.
Indeed.
And we have Rathewen with accompanying horse there as well, waiting for you.
Well, I will reappear. I will be soaked in water. Looks sort of like a drowned cat a little bit, but and kind of like lean forward awkwardly as if like my back is in great pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of just holding my side from the one wound, but I have my bow vaguely at the ready as I kind of stumble out of the trees.
I would have been part with through drawing a circle, like getting ready to summon something to go look for you.
Lovely to see you. And I'm just gonna fall over.
I'll immediately run over to him. Is there anything I can do with my knowledge of field dressing?
Yes. That is indeed one of the things that you can use for this.
Looks like he's
thing.
got a
That is
spear
exactly
in
what
him.
this is for, I believe.
Let me get that.
My expert
I like how
knowledge is
all
telling me
the
he's been
soldier guys
stabbed
also have all the battlefield
with this
medicine stuff,
javelin.
Yeah.
No, I pulled the javelin out, but it does look like it has left a nice little wound in my back for it.
Okay, let's see. Where are we? Here we go. Right, field dressing. Yep, so these are two separate wounds here that we're dealing with. And I'm delighted to tell you that treating these, you don't need to deal with bleeding because these wounds don't bleed, like they do in the fiction. But in the mechanics, like if you have a big bleed on your wound, that's going to be a bad time. But these are superficial, as we know. So the obstacle for both of these is 1. So if you want to go over Tyrell over the course of the next little while, you can do a couple of swings of that.
Okay, let's see how we do them. Oh, I think I set the obstacle as 0 there. Oh no, it's gone 1.
Yeah, because of your own wound.
So it should actually be 2. So it'd be 2
Yep.
versus 2. Right, okay.
Yep.
So do
Yep.
the
Still good. Still good.
yeah, do the second one. So, no advantages. No author obstacle. 1. Okay, is that going to appear? Because I did click on it. It doesn't seem to have done anything there.
Does that sometimes?
It's lost like tears in the rain.
Yeah. Or Terrails in the rain.
Terrails in the rain, yeah.
Let me just try
And down the fucking
let's
river.
try again.
There we go.
Ooh. Boom, boom.
There we go.
How does
So
that affect me then, though?
you can clear all the dots.
Oh, shit. Fucking baller Glarvir over here. Very good. I'll take that.
What does that count as in terms of my dots? Is that just
2 routines.
2 routines? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Boom.
Right, so Glarvir fixes you right up.
Yeah. It pinches. Careful.
Come on, man. My training focuses on getting people up and ready for battle, not babying them while they're complaining about the pain of it all.
Yes. But you have.
Come on, up and at them, man.
We don't want to leave scars on these wonderful abs.
Scars are badges
you
of
can wash
honor.
clothing on these abs, sir.
Scars are badges of honor, you lily white elf.
Fair. I'm sorry. I'm in the mood.
Never
I
mind
appreciate
all
your
that.
helping.
Never mind all that. Do you have the pendant?
Cameron has it.
Rathewen. Patience. You have had hundreds of years to learn patience. I know it's hard for humans, but
I'm just going to sort of like point at Cameron and be like,
Yeah. So she's gonna come over to Cameron. You're drawing your thing, I suppose, with like a stick on the ground.
Yeah, I was. It's taken time because I'm obviously a bit tired,
Mhm.
and you know, I've been scared a little bit today, despite being fearless. But you know, I was nearly there. I nearly got it right. I was final preparations. It'd been like maybe an hour or two. You know, I managed to
And I
calm
ruined
Glarvir
it.
down to stay here while I do my work. He's gonna march off back to the city, of course. You know, admirable honor, but it would have been a waste of time.
because I showed up on my own volition.
Yeah.
So the fox turns up as well.
Yeah, I imagine
at some point.
my
Yeah.
family would return eventually.
Yeah, and just sort of be like,
Yeah.
And then I
Don't
wave
take
at
it
the fox
personally.
as it
He's
comes into the
a
camp.
tricksy one. That one. Much easier to track the dwarf.
So Rathewen approaches Cameron and says, "You have the pendant, then?
I do. Yes.
Wonderful. I would have it." And she extends a hand.
I'm sure you will, and I am going to give you that pendant as we agreed. However, I would like a private word with you before I do so.
A private word.
But I promise you, I will honor our agreement. I will give you the pendant, but I want to talk to you first.
Whereupon shall we
think
secrete
he knows
ourselves?
what honoring the agreement means there, Glarvir. But
what?
Just a
Never
little ways
mind.
off. I'll try and get out of the range of their hearing. Then I'll double it because obviously elf.
it's probably a good idea, actually.
When I get out the sound of his humming.
So, yeah, I suppose you're heading into like deeper in the woods.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Alone with the 500-year-old witch. It's okay.
And your horse.
Hi,
Tyrell.
Cameron. Yeah.
Tyrell, your horse comes over and sort of like.
Oh, Sita, you did a good job. Oh, Sita, I love you. Did the mean lady treat you nice?
It's all like, it's wet.
Yeah, of course, we're all wet.
Absolutely soaking wet.
So I'm gonna be leaning on my stick. Obviously, my familiar's gonna be with me, and if I'm still in trouble, it'll probably bark or run off, try and grab the other two. But I don't feel threatened by Rathewen at this stage. More curious.
There's still, by the way, the storm is still going, so that's a bit of a sound buffer as well, with the rumblings and splashes of lightning.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to you away from my friends for the moment. It's a private matter between the two of us. I think you would be interested in what I have to say.
Well,
Rathewen.
I look forward to hearing it. If it means that we can resolve our business.
I will agree to share something deeply personal with about myself that no one else really knows anything of. If you will answer me a question about yourself.
I have no desire for your secrets. I'm sure you are glad to know.
I think you might with this one.
I rather don't think so. not to. You are. Judging by your drawings, you are an adept at the craft. I suppose it has something to do with this, as it usually does.
It is not. It is a matter of family.
Right, well. Why would... Like, she's just perplexed. Like, why do I need to hear about this?
You see, it would seem that you worked for my ancestors.
I suppose you would have seen something in the city? to that
I
effect?
saw yourself exactly as you are now,
Hmm.
in an ancient vault of the people of Siriath, with next to my great great grandfather. So, yeah,
What do you mean?
I am.
Yes, I mean, I know. They probably move the statues.
What I'm trying to tell you, Rathewen, is something that I found out not a great deal of time ago. That I am a descendant of the royal family line of the city. That you served that family.
Is that so?
Not so insequential now.
I find that hard to believe. Glarvir shocked in the distance. I find that rather hard to believe.
As equally as hard to believe that you have somehow lived for centuries without aging a day.
Well,
So
I too am adept at the crafts.
So I'm trying to figure out what happened to my family all those years ago, what caused the city to fall, where the crown went. It's partly why I'm working for the Dark Watchers now, not teaching young.
They're still around, are they?
Yeah, they've gone through some hard times, but
There can't be too many left by now.
no, it's
We've
definitely
killed
could use
so
some
many of
manpower.
them.
But I feel like you can help me fill in those gaps. You're probably uniquely qualified, at least to give me starting.
Do you have
point.
any idea how many people I have talked to who have come to me, whether it is because of my urging or their own, with this same story over the centuries? I have sought some of these people out, mind you. I wanted to hear the story. I've heard it many times now.
Is there any way for me to prove it, Wheelmaster, that I am actually a descendant?
I suppose, yeah.
I think what she's saying is that even if you do, she doesn't give a shit.
So one thing that you know, because you have some alchemical knowledge, you could try to devise a way to convince her of that, because you can distill some essential qualities that are, extra normal from the blood, as she did back in Strathfell when she took the spine and the skull of someone and used alchemy to distill some power from them. So you think you might be able to, like, if she knows about this sort of thing, like what to look for even.
That's going to require a roll. For me, that's going
Yeah,
to be
you would need to go to a laboratory and like bleed and like do alchemy to provide her with some essence that proves something, like if she even cares about that. But that's something you could do. But whether or not she has the interest or the vocabulary to talk about that is different. But no, you don't have like a badge.
No, I didn't think so. But I had the traits. So I wasn't sure if it was like something that I could just be like, I have this thing.
No, you have mark of privilege, which means that she can tell that you're a noble. But the king bit isn't applicable.
I thought
like,
the whole born to be king thing was a trait as well. That
It is.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your right. It's not something that a person can see when they look at you.
Well, I'll tell Ruth and I. We both know there are ways to prove these things, and if that will put you at rest, I'm happy to subject myself to the blood ritual. So far, that's all you do to me. All I'm asking for is you give me your help, and I know that's not an easy thing for you to do freely. But
help with what exactly?
Figuring out what went wrong, what happened to my family, what happened to the line, how has it gotten here? I wasn't aware until I said recently that is my ancestry, and perhaps if I can, and I can help the Dark Watchers retrieve the crown, that I can at least help put right what happened almost centuries ago.
Right. So I presume we have the remnants of these Dark Watchers to thank for this. They gave you stories.
More so that I met someone. Perhaps I overreached. I gained knowledge that maybe I shouldn't have. And it changed my life, not for the better. But we can only move forward. Now I know this.
Right. Someone has convinced you of this.
It was not a convincing. It was proven to me. There was no lies. They were not able to lie to me. And I know the truth of their words.
It's a rather fanciful tale.
I don't have any reason to lie to you.
Still, there is
I'll
the fact
trust
that
you, but I feel like if you worked for my family all those years ago, that then there is some honor in you somewhere, and that maybe we both can make amends for whatever's gone wrong with our people.
Oh, it hasn't been that long since my last tenure ended. Regardless, you are marked by the Foxfires, and this is not a standard in
It is not.
the royal family, which already makes me doubt that, well, perhaps you spoke with one of the ambassadors of the more mischievous, and they have spun you around their finger. Now, Matthew, I would like for you to give a persuasion roll here, because that's literally what you're doing. you're trying to persuade her to take this deal. Like, I'm the king, descendant anyway, and that's
I
don't have it as a skill, but I have persuasion being learned.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You can continue learning that.
Can I ask a question, Wheelmaster, as well while he's doing that roll?
Absolutely.
I know that he's moved off quite a ways.
Yes.
And there's the rain.
Yes.
However, I'm very observant.
Yes.
No, I know. I made a human estimate of how far I need to go.
So I was wondering if I could take a dark side shot of hearing any and or all of this, if possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could I make a roll for that?
Yeah, but I suppose you would be sneaking in.
Well, I'm not gonna like sneak towards them.
I hope we've taken that spear out, because that will really give you away.
No, I did that a long time ago. We're good on that.
Okay.
No, I was wondering if from my position I could attempt to hear them, essentially, with my elven ears.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Give it a shot. I mean, I don't care if it's challenging. That's more the better. You know. So. Is that observation or straight up perception?
I think it might be observation in this case, because this is deliberately being kept secret from you, which is sort of the thing.
Oh yeah, it's true. I basically trying to defeat his attempt to obfuscate the conversation. Got it.
Yeah. But let's have a static
songs that make it worse for you, because I can hear it.
No, he's not saying anything. He's using his ears.
I'm using those long ass ears for a reason.
So I'm gonna say obstacle 4, because that's sort of the minimum weather stuff.
That works. Again, I'm all right with it going awry or more. Yeah, see, I'm all right with that though, because it's
yeah. Oh, that also is filled with ones. We're
we're hitting ones tonight, aren't we?
we're having a great time with the dice.
You know what? I just put loads of twigs out as I walked away. That'll get him.
Twig lord.
I hear nothing over the storm, so
yeah, it's the storm is too much, and the rain
is
just pouring
could be
down.
running up right on us, and I wouldn't notice it.
Also, to be fair, I'm probably talking as well, and I talk very loudly all the time.
Nattering on.
Yeah. Is it the thunder or Glarvir? Who knows?
Well, Glarvir is the thunder.
So this persuasion, I don't get any help or advantage, even though I am royalty.
No. That doesn't enter into it.
No. So am I able to know the difficulty before I decide
yes,
if I put Arthur
Yes, you tried this once before.
Okay. Oh shit, yeah, I did. I'm gonna try Arthur anyway.
Okay. I will say
persona.
In order for you to get 16 successes.
Oh my god.
The one Arthur probably doesn't help.
No, you're right. Okay.
I'm just saying, because I want you to be.
I'm gonna raw dog it then. Just let's see. It's just. It's unlikely.
Perhaps maybe the approach should be, what will it take to convince you or get over your apathy or whatnot? Not try to straight up be like, I am the king,
So 6.
8.
Oh, 8. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, 8, 16. Yeah.
Got a 6.
Challenging roll, at least.
It is very and it doesn't matter. You just add on a tap there. Yeah. Well, you're working on it. So So what she says is, listen, even if you are an offspring of the royal house, as you claim, and you somehow escaped not only my nets, but everyone else's too, for such a long time, and not only you, but your immediate relatives as well, you all escaped our notice. It is not for lack of trying that you have not been caught. Even if this was still true, what do you think you can do? Are you going to go, your head full of stories given to you by the Dark Watchers, who are barely even a thing? You will head out into the world, you will retrieve the lost crown of power, and somehow survive to also bring it back? And then what? Even if we grant that all this is true, what happens when you come back victorious from your quest, bearing the crown? What happens when the 100 princes say, no, that is my crown?
At this stage, I'm not trying to reclaim the crown. I'm not trying to be king, Rathewen. What I'm trying to do is, although that day may come to pass, I cannot predict the future, neither can you. Just a slight eyebrow raise in case she says, well, actually, all I'm trying to do is what any man woman can do, is the best they can with the time they have. And with this knowledge that I know to be true, and if there's a way for me to convince you, I will happily do so.
There is none. There is none. You have something that I would treasure.
I intend to do what my ancestors could not, and try and leave the world in a better state than it was. If I get the crown and I die trying, then at least I tried. If I get the crown, make it back, and die before it can be used, then at least I brought it back and gave my people a chance. If I get back with my companions and I'm able to use it or work out its use to save or restore some of the kingdom, then at least I've done something. I don't expect you to believe me. I can see from your countenance you are wholly unconvinced of what I tell you, but I'm going to try anyway.
Even if you did bring the crown back, even if you would bring it here, what are you but a man from the lesser kingdoms, long soiled by the degradation of centuries of ignorance and despair? And you would stand against what? Your ancestor, who now rules the ancient capital once again, with your foxfire blessings?
Well,
you
yes,
have tricks and cantrips to bring against the last king. There is no victory to be had here. Truly, it would be wisdom for you to bargain with your friend and leave on a ship to the west. I will consider your delightful little proposition here that you
should remember, since you were alive back then, that the kingdom, it didn't start off great, it became great. Through learning,
not of what you speak of. May I have the amulet, please?
Of course. I give it to her. I don't.
Yeah, she takes it, yeah.
I'm true to my word, as
puts it on.
As someone who could be king one day, should be. You may consider the fact that maybe you have lived this long and gone through what you have to help someone like me.
you can. There's a couple of things that happen here as you're saying this to her and giving the amulet. Like when she gets it, there's like almost like time stops for her. Like there's a very intense, like she's staring at it, and you can see like she's making a decision in slow motion in real time, and then decides to put it on. And then again, once you start like talking about this, like help someone like me, and she like steps closer to you and reaches out with a hand as if almost to like choke you, but she like stops before touching you, and she's like, I have tried. And I failed. Let's go back.
Very well. Consider that there is always chance time to change your mind. You will be hearing of my exploits, no doubt, in the future. If I do not convince you now, perhaps when I have recovered the crown, you may change your mind. Or maybe not when I've recovered the crown, but when I have marshaled the people together, maybe then you'll change your mind.
Because she's helping us recover that crown.
Because clearly you have plenty of time on your hands, such long-lived as you are. As I begin to walk back.
Yeah, sure. They come back. And Rathewen just plainly having the pendant on now. The shiny onyx sort of teardrop shape.
I'm combing Cyril as they come out from the woods because the rain is starting to maybe come up, let up a little bit finally, and I look at Rathewen. Oh, lovely, lovely, great craftsmanship. I would almost say that it's elvish in its design, but perhaps not quite, but still quite lovely.
I did have people do work on the chain, if I recall, who had consulted with some elven
Yes, I
silversmiths.
thought I could see that our touch in that. Yes. Well, no greater compliment than wanting to replicate our work. So I'll take it as a gesture of goodwill there.
Well, Rathewen, we've lived up to our side of the bargain. You were to help us locate the crown.
Indeed.
You have two broad choices. Aside from me acting as your as if I was a scout from the elven detachment. Aside from me doing that, I will have to resort to describing this for you somewhat. There are two ways that I know of for you to choose. I cannot guarantee that what you seek will be there, but it is as close to the truth as I know it. It was still there the last I saw it.
How long ago was that?
It has been several centuries. And this is the first that Tyrell and Glarvir, get this into the framework because Cameron hasn't told you.
No, I haven't had a chance, but yeah.
Rathewen, I have a question off the back of that. It sounds to me that at least yourself, and presumably then your former master, would have known the location of the true crown this entire time. Why would they have resorted to a facsimile if they could achieve the real thing, so to speak?
The king, and she nods towards the city, never knew where the crown ended up after he lost it.
You managed to keep that from him.
I did.
Well, you're just full of surprises.
Well, we are. This is an appropriate venue, I suppose, for laying out all of my shame. She smiles ruefully at the skies, like dark skies, miserable rain, thunder in the distance, and the ghosts of my numerous failures at our heels. This seems like the appropriate place, decreed by fates, if one were to believe that sort of thing.
Glarvir certainly does.
Do you entreat with the stones, the runes?
Indeed, of course I believe in the dictates of fate. One only has to look around to see the truth of that.
Magnificent craft. If only I had your talent at my side so long ago, we might have avoided some of this. But yes, the king did never rediscover where the crown was after losing it, and to that end, well, didn't quite happen in that order, but I made a replacement.
So you construct the crown of flame.
I did.
So your powers are great indeed.
Well, my powers are now pitiful, as I poured it all into the craft of the crown.
Yes, that would make sense.
I am making do with the remnants of this forest wretch, and she raises the bangle that she infused with the skull and the spine distillate. And that is a flawed art in itself, and one that is sure to bring the king's wrath upon me, as I mentioned before. So it is
a mighty sacrifice that you made.
It is not might that I would associate with myself at this time. Once, yes. Now, no, not in a long time.
Well, there are many kinds of might in this world, and not all of them are easily seen.
It's true.
The king doesn't know where the crown is.
So we have the advantage, if ever so slightly.
As advantage such as I have maintained it, it is pitiful, but it is what we have.
Indeed.
However, I can't be sure if the crown is where I have seen it last, but no one else will be looking for it. I don't think. I may be the last one on this side of the mountains who knows where it is or has an idea of where it was taken.
Fortunate then our paths crossed when they did.
I think there was more than fortune. I do smell something here. A dwarf that reads the stars from earthly stone. A man who claims to be of royal descent, no less a direct descendant of Aralas, King Aralas himself. Who
I think at
reigns,
that point I'll be like, oh, what?
But is tainted by, I say tainted, apologize for that, old prejudices, who is touched by the foxfires. This is quite the number of concurrencies.
Oh, and me. I'm here as well.
Are you next in line for the we once upon a time used to call it the crown of silver stars. It is not what your people called it, but I forget. It's been such a long time. Are you next in line for the crown?
What if his cousin had anything to say about it?
You hush there, Matthew. Out of character, that wasn't something that I had ever considered. I think it's more that my character was the only one willing to stick their neck out for humanity.
Yeah, basically, like my assumption is the answer is no. To this one.
So yeah, I'll say it to Rathewen. No, our crown is safe and hidden from prying eyes. We use it when we need to defend our borders. Some of my kindred, though, believe that is all that we're responsible for. Defending our borders with our crown and leaving the rest of the world to rot. Forgetting that our borders can become then surrounded when we let humanity and the dwarves eventually fail when the darkness comes. So no, I do not have claim to our crown. However, I seek to restore the rights of apparently its rightful owner here. I point over to Cameron to have their own crown to shape their own destiny.
The jury is still out on that one.
Well, Rathewen, as you said, as a believer of fate, it seems that a great many coincidences have conspired to bring us all together this night. So perhaps you should have a little faith. I believe is the word you humans use.
I don't suppose this is the right time to point out I'm a member of the royal line of Mulbrannan.
Next in line for the crown, are we?
No. No, definitely not.
But royalty we all are, indeed. That's true. But only Cameron here seems to be able to claim his species' crown, so we should redouble our efforts to reclaim it.
Aye.
Well,
it's as good a story as any, Rathewen. Certainly better than the ones I've heard traveling through human lands. You would not believe, or perhaps you would, given your age, the rapaciousness of which the human princes and kings of these successor kingdoms lust after the crown.
I've seen the rats battle.
Yes,
there's nothing.
They do scurry.
I am far beyond questioning this event. However, it is not for me. I am here clearly to point you on your way, as I was saying.
Indeed.
There are two ways that I'm aware of. Both. These are old ways that are no doubt more filled with darkness now than they were before, and danger. The crown, such as I know, it was taken beyond the mountains, beyond the fortresses of the mountainkin, and once upon a time, long ago, before my time, there was a sea beyond the mountains. It is no longer, and has not been for a long time. You might cross over the mountains. You would have to go south first and then cross over the mountains. I would recommend somewhere in your ancestral lands, perhaps. Gestures to Glarvir. Because not, if only because perhaps there are fewer dangerous passes that way. You might cross the mountains at a point of your choosing and brave the wasteland, trying to find the right crevice, the right crack, the right entrance into the ground below. There are many spaces underneath, below the wasteland. I would not recommend this as your first option. Very dangerous. There's no telling what would befall you in the wasteland. And of course, coming across anything to sustain yourselves in the wasteland would be a heroic effort in itself. The other way, which you might try, it has become somewhat less accessible of late. And she looks at Glarvir somewhat, curious now. And it is below one of the ancestral forts of the dwarves. Though this one, I believe, has not housed a dwarf in generations. There is a path deep below in spaces, tunnels, pathways, corridors, and beyond secret doors that even when it was accessible to us the first time, it is now doubly dangerous, entirely lost, as is the entire fortress, as you no doubt know, good stone seer.
Do you speak of the lost fortress of Kazkarad?
I do. There's a secret path deep under the fortress, deep below the foundations, and through the mountain into the secrets and forlorn spaces below the wasteland. And you will find the remnants of the Great Sea down there as well, regardless of which way you go. There are ruins down there. And in one of these ruins, you will find what you seek, if it's still there, as it was when I left last time. If you are dead set on this foolish errand.
We are.
As is the case, no doubt. Credit to our perhaps royal. He's very adamant about it.
I sort of stare at the other two a little awkwardly there, because obviously I'm aware that I haven't even...
Mm-hmm.
I like to think we're just nonplussed because we're both like nobles, so we're just like, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
They're much more used to the noble life than I am, so like...
It's
Hundreds of years worth of it, yeah.
Glarvir and Tyrell is like, I know there was a reason why you're here.
So
Yeah, we
that's
just
how
kind
you
of
run the
assumed,
team.
I think, maybe, that, oh yeah, he must be royalty or something, right? Like, you know, just send a random bloke, right?
Magic, royalty, it's the same thing, right?
It will be very, very dangerous for you, whichever way you go, or if you devise some other way, that is none of my business.
You did say that retrieving this pendant for you was very dangerous, yet you...
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. You seem quite laden with portents, though. I think you were not meant to die in Dulciriath, even though perhaps you should have, by all rights. I'm very glad that you did not, she says, and touches the silver chain.
We are glad to have been able to return your keepsake to you. And we appreciate you divulging what you know about the crown. Now, will you aid us in reaching this location, or how are you...
I can't drag the eye of the king on your heels.
Oh, of course.
Can they still follow you?
Yes, yes. Well,
She
he
nods.
seems to have a bit of a penchant for...
There is
Rathewen,
no more craft for me other than that which allows, well, me to be a danger to myself and everyone else.
We understand, Rathewen.
We do.
Consider your debt to us paid. Go in peace.
I concur.
Are you... A final question, are you linked to this crown that you crafted? Is that what prevents you from escaping their...
He smiles a bit and says, no, that is entirely because of this. And she touches the bangle again that she made.
Okay.
And says, a failed creation, a hasty one, allowing me access to some of the things that I have. It is not what I was, and it is a doomed thing, and it will draw the eye of the king wherever I go.
Well, we must continue on our path, and it seems you must continue on yours. If the fates decree it, perhaps our paths will cross again.
I have a feeling we will see each other one day again.
Indeed.
So she like nods, glances at everyone as if to like commit you to memory for some later time, and then turns to start and walk away.
Safe
to the west.
journey.
And she turns back at the sort of edge of this little clearing that we're in right now, and she says, It is perplexing. Sort of calls back from some distance. It's perplexing after all these years. I've tried so many times, and to have this foolish, desperate gambit bring you here to me. I wonder if you might be asked to do one more thing for me. And for this, I cannot repay you.
What would you have us do?
We may be inclined.
She's quiet for a long time, looking at each of you, sort of appraising. And takes the pendant and puts it on a rock near the edge of the clearing. And she says, I would ask you take this and destroy the stone.
And can the stone be destroyed by normal means?
I do believe your axe would be enough.
I was going to say, at which point I'm going to stride forward with like the double-handed axe I took from the ruins.
One moment, Glarvir.
Yeah, and she's as Glarvir is there, like,
yeah, I'm literally pause. I was like ready to go like that, and then he's
yeah.
like, 1 minute.
And Rathewen like draws a sharp breath as this stop motion happens.
I just want to sort of look at her eyes as he raises his. I want to read what's in her eyes.
There's something that hasn't been there at all during the period that you have known either Katla or Rathewen, and it's a sort of elation and incredible fear in equal measure. And she's like drawing this like as like Glarvir, like she thought it was coming down. And
proceed, Glarvir.
Yeah, just smash it.
I want to keep looking at her as it happens.
Yeah, and she like draws a slower breath as the axe finally comes down, and it hits the stone. The stone shatters, and there's a palpable, sense of something in the air. There's like a pressure, and Rathewen holds this breath, and you can see like every muscle in her body is tensed, and she's sort of like staring at you, Tyrell, and sort of like waiting for a bit, and then like lets out the breath, and like does a couple of very deep breathing exercises almost, and then sort of like settles herself. It's like, thank you, Stoneseer. I wish you well on your journeys.
And you on yours.
Till next we meet.
Safe journey.
I think at that point we probably like turn and head in a like respective directions.
Separate directions. Yeah.
South we go. Well, at least first to Strathel to resupply, I imagine, but then on to, was it Kaz Gordon, was it, or?
Well, if you want the rough translation into common, it's Anvil Hall. Lacks a certain flair, but
I'm still working on my accent. I just learned your language.
Kazkarad.
Kazkarad, okay. Oh. You act as if every dwarf elf sits around learning dwarf. We have other things to attend to, Glarvir.
Forgive me,
I learned your language as a courtesy to you.
Forgive me, the subject of Kazkarad is somewhat sensitive to my kind, since it is a...
Yes.
I was saying this as we're walking away. It is a fortress that has been lost to us for many generations. In fact, the reason why my kind were only able to spare me for this mission is that those who are far higher in the strata of command amongst my kind have deemed it more important to funnel their efforts into the retaking of Kaz-Karad, and a number of my people are currently engaged in that endeavour.
Well, it seems as if we need to move south before there's battle in the north and battle in the south.
Indeed.
What was... I only know the story. It was, shockingly enough, slightly before my time that Kaz-Karad was taken. But do we know it fell to the darkness, did it not?
Did we decide this, Whalemaster? I cannot remember.
Yeah. So it is lost to the dwarves, and who knows what's there? All manner of hostile wildlife, straight up monsters.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say, from what little we know, the records are fragmented due to the loss of much of our ancient history in this fort.
All I know
a great number of beasts and foulness bubbled up from the depths, and the defenders of Kaz-Karad found themselves besieged. Some few were able to escape, and the rest were lost. Since then, it has been lost to my kind, and it is only recently that the great dwarf lords and kings have decided that they had sufficient numbers to be able to reclaim it.
Well, perhaps we can help make two kingdoms whole in our mission. Yes?
Perhaps, however, as I have told you, my standing amongst my own kind is...
But you're one of ours now, Glarvir. We're a fellowship, are we not?
Indeed we are. Indeed.
Our mission has to rise above these petty concerns of politics amongst our peoples and amongst ourselves.
Indeed, I as an oath taker and keeper, I have a certain amount of respect given to me by my kind, but the ways of the runecaster, of the stone seer, respected though they are by Rathewen and others, amongst my kind who are not a magically inclined people, those who experiment with it are seen as somewhat eccentric, and we are, without being directly ostracized, we are, let's say, shuffled towards the outskirts of our society. I myself, before being called to obey my oath of loyalty to our prince, lived as something of a hermit on the outskirts of our societies. But even one who lives as a hermit like myself cannot deny the oaths of loyalty that one has pledged to one's superior. That is the way of my people.
Indeed. Well, first to Strathfell, and then onward to Anvil Hall.
Right. So there's some distance to cover. We talked about like several weeks of travel, like 3 weeks perhaps up here. So there's going to be a lot of travel coming up, and also 3 weeks is time enough for the armies to have moved from Strathfell. So I suppose we will perhaps be encountering some of them in...
Yeah, we did want to warn off Barrack along the road, so we were kind of hoping that we would bump into him, I think.
Yeah.
Because we did want to kind of redirect him.
Yeah.
Just to check, during this long travel, is that enough for me to have recovered from my minor wound?
Absolutely. Yes.
Sweet.
Would I have recovered from my fatigue?
Yes, that is also true.
Yeah.
So I guess next time we'll start off maybe in Lord Barrack's camp, perhaps?
Yeah, we'll start off with you meeting the army, and
that works for me.
Yeah. Then whatever happens, happens.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
How do you actually remove a wound?
Click on the
click
space above.
It's an X.
Right. Okay, cool.
There's above it, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, that is it for session 7.
Thank you, Wheelmaster.
Quality. Thank you
That
very
was
much.
exciting.
Very much enjoyed it.
Yep.
Right. So I will end the stream here.